just shakes the reins, and Songbird going for broke has made progress up into second inside a family tree, but they're 6 lengths behind Songbird at the 16th pole. It is Songbird, this magnificent filly, winning the Alabama. She is a perfect 10.
Last summer, Songbird dominated the Alabama, starting her career a perfect 10 for 10, eventually being crowned champion 3-year-old filly. This year's running is far different, with questions surrounding a number of key contenders. Can morning line favorite Unchained Melody get 1.25 miles? Will Holy Helena, winner of the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown, transfer that form stateside? And can Breeders' Cup winner New Money Honey be as brilliant in her first try on a dirt surface? All questions that will be answered in the 137th Alabama, next on Saratoga Live.
Welcome to Saratoga on Alabama Day. Can Unchained Melody, winner of the Grade 2 Mother Goose, stretch her speed out to 2 turns at 1.25 miles? She'll be the one to catch in front. Her pilot, jockey Joel Rosario, won the Alabama back in 2010 with Jerry Hollendorfer. He'll be trying to beat that trainer this time around. We'll hear the story of how he started out and became one of the very best in the game. Welcome to Saratoga Live. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. An absolute packed house and a beautiful day here at horse racing's Field of Dreams, the premier race meet in all the country, Saratoga Racecourse in Saratoga Springs, New York. One of the great days all year long in horse racing here as we see that some of the best 3-year-old fillies in the country do battle in the 1.25 miles Alabama. Greg Wolf alongside former New York Met, Los Angeles Dodger Paul LaDuca. Paul, this day is so special. So many good horses, so many good storylines in this race. And Unchained Melody, she's going to be the one to catch out in front.
Yeah, for trainer Brian Lynch. You're right. And Joel Rosario, listen, she was dynamite in the Mother Goose last time. She had 2 6-furlong races. She went on to win her next condition. And then this happened in the Mother Goose. To me, she was controlled the race from start to finish. A lot of people will look at it and say that Lockdown was a very good second. But you're right. She's the filly to catch, and she's the one to beat today.
Meanwhile, it 'tis well. She's 2 for 2 shipping out of the state of California, and she went to Delaware last time out. Could be a tough track to ship into and win, and she did just that in a gritty performance.
Well, Jerry Hollendorfer going for his 3rd Alabama win, and a lot of people say, well, he ships great in here into Saratoga. Well, those 2 fillies have been Blind Luck and Songbird, so very, very talented was. I don't know if tis well as good as those 2, but I think you got to give her a bit of a look.
And she comes off a win in the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks. That win with Blind Luck, by the way, for Jerry Hollendorfer, his first ever win here at Saratoga. This is a look at the field. It is loaded with intriguing runners and tremendous storylines top to bottom. But it is Unchained Melody for Brian Lynch. With Joel Rosario on board, it will be the one to catch and maybe the one to beat in this race. There's 2 runners in this field who have both won at 1.25 miles, Holy Helena and New Money Honey. Holy Helena did it on synthetic, New Money Honey on turf. What are the differences of those surfaces as compared to dirt? Let's check in with Gabby Gaudette for more.
Thanks, Greg, and we'll touch on each of those 3 surfaces. And right here in my left hand is the synthetic surface that Holy Helena has competed on in her last 2 starts, and specifically it's called Tapeta. And it's kind of a waxier surface. It's comprised of waxy dirt, other fibers, and rubber as well. And it's more of a compact surface versus the dirt in my right hand, guys. Well, it's a little bit of a deeper surface here. And obviously on the main track here at Saratoga, more of a, I would say, compromising surface here. And the difference between Tapeta and the dirt, obviously, is that it can play differently in terms of how horses move across it. Tapeta, they kind of skip along the surface, whereas the main track here at Saratoga, they fall into a little bit more. And you can see by my shoe right here, you're kind of digging into the surface here, versus as New Money Honey makes her dirt debut today. It's going to be a completely different surface, as you saw how my foot kind of sunk into the main track surface here. Here, well, I'm hopping on it. I'm not going anywhere. A much more solid dirt surface with a couple of inches of turf on top. So it's going to be a big change for both of these fillies, but obviously Holy Helena has experience on the dirt. That could give her a little bit of an advantage as we head over to the backside. Maggie standing by at Bill Mott's barn.
Here on the backside, outside the barn of Bill Mott, the Hall of Fame trainer who has won the Alabama twice in years past. Now, the last time he won this race, it was with the horse to beat. That was back in 2011 with the big filly Royal Delta. This year, though, he'll be trying to win this with two kind of up-and-coming fillies, one of which is Lockdown, who was second behind Unchained Melody last time in the Grade 2 Mother Goose back at Belmont. His other runner? That's Elate, who was a narrowly defeated second by Abel Tasman back in the Grade 1 CCA Oaks. Bit of a rough ride there down on the rail where Mike Smith surely made it tight on Jose Ortiz, and she'll be looking to break through at this 1.25 mile distance for this Hall of Fame trainer, Bill Mott. Guys?
Maggie, thank you very much. We're looking forward to this race. We've been waiting for it all season long. It's this race, and then next Saturday, the Travers. Two great back-to-back weekends here at Saratoga. Want to remind everyone to get signed up and started. As you watch, you can play along with Naira Bets. Go to nairabets.com. If you bet 200, you'll get 200 in your account. If you use the promo code PIG5, you can bet with Naira Bets all across the country and get signed up as well. Naira Bets members also get an extra perk by having exclusive online access to the Naira Bets Late Pick 5 sequence. Races we'll be bringing you this afternoon. Race 7, of course, is first. That starts the Late Pick 4. It is a mile over the inner turf. Entry-level allowance, and then we have back-to-back rated stakes, the Lake Placid. We're going to see La Coronel.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize you're going to see a special filly make a return from Ascot and La Coronel. And if you're liking New Money Honey, the one in the Alabama, the only two times she's lost on the turf course to La Coronel. So very talented runner in race 8.
We'll close things out in that 10th with a mile over the inner turf. That is a maiden special weight. Track conditions brought to you by John Deere. The main track is fast, and the turf condition listed as firm for today. 17 minutes away from the start of a Pick 4 coming up. Let's meet the rest of our crew downstairs. New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling and one of the top trainers in the game, Tom Amos. Guys?
It's a great day today, and it's in Alabama. I think it's going to be very, very memorable. Starts off, though, with a terrific 1 mile race, and you've got 3 horses, main players in here, coming out of the 7th race from July 29th. Now, obviously, Mom's on Strike ran second. Inarguably the best race of any of the 3 of them, and she ran very well, making a big wide move. But the 1 La Sola Ranger and very much the 9 Vagabond were blocked badly in the stretch, particularly Vagabond.
Yeah, don't sell the Solar Ranger out either. That horse was blocked for a big part of the race. Never really got to run. I mean, he makes a move to the rail here with La Solar Ranger, hoping to get through. He doesn't, and he eats horse. He eats horse for almost the whole race before he finally get out, but never gets a clean trip there with that horse either. I'm not as sold on the trip that Mom's on Strike had. I know she ran further than everybody else, but I'm not so sure these horses behind her didn't run better than she did.
I think it's a difficult discussion. It really is. I think in some ways you have to look at their PPs in total. And Mom's on Strike was coming off a layup, and she had run very well in her prior start. But I don't disagree. I think Vagabond had trouble and is a much better price. I think that the 1 had trouble as well as Solar Ranger. They're not the only ones in here, though. I mean, Chad Brown has a horse in here. That we're looking at the 4 Moms on Strike. We can talk about her, we can move on. Moms on Strike, obviously a talented runner who finished second in a stake race to Thundering Sky, who won a stake race in this meeting, the De La Rose. If we could, though, and we could move to the 6 horse, Ellery Lane, in this race, this is a Chad Brown European, the 6, who finished 3rd in a Group 3 in her last race, but that was over a year ago, Tom.
Over a year ago, but oftentimes these horses that come from overseas take time to start. Chad Brown, one of the best at realizing when it's time to put his horse in. By the way, that horse that beat Ellery Lane in the last, that's a name everybody's familiar with. Roly Poly is a Group 1 winner over there, won the Foul Mistakes at Newmarket. Roly Poly would be 1-9 in this spot.
Well, we'll see her in the PPs because she's one of the horses that finished ahead of La Coronel, a horse who may be favored in the Lake Placid coming up. Other horse we may want to look at in this race, maybe the 3 horse Great Import, a horse who could be forwardly placed as we look at Ellery Lane. I just want to say one thing more about Ellery Lane before we switch to the 3. Tad Brown is 6 for 10, you saw with that stat, with Europeans that he's bringing over to Saratoga. He really points this meet. Now, he is 2 behind Todd Pletcher. There's a lot of racing left. Kieran McLaughlin having a good meet with 8 wins here. This horse has got to be forwardly placed along with the 2 Miss Kentucky.
Well, the 2 Miss Kentucky and the 3 Great Import, who's the horse we're talking about. Both those horses are coming out of sprints. They both drew the rail, and right next to the rail, that's the speed of this race. The 2 Miss Kentucky, who comes from the 1 post position, and the 3 Great Import, who's going to break from the 2 post position.
The number 9 Vagabond, who we talked about before, is your top pick. I have her as a major player as well. Talk about her, Tom.
Look, she had a terrible trip. We watched that replay. She was involved in that race with the 4-horse Moms on Strike as well as La Sola Ranger, but she had the worst trip of all. Never got to run until maybe the last 40 yards of the race. Look, the public knows it too. This horse being bet down right now, and I think it's very live at 5-1.
And she's also a horse that's had trouble, and sometimes horses make their own trouble, but I don't think Vagabond is one of those horses. I think Vagabond has been unlucky. Slow pace and buried down inside 2 back, 3 back, a slow pace and buried as well. She's the kind of horse, Tom, that one day she wakes up, much like a Beach Patrol that won the Arlington Million last week, who had been unlucky, and she's going to win a race like this at a fair price. We talked a little about the 1 La Sola Ranger, the horse for Mark Casse. I think that she ran very well, visually impressively, to break her maiden at Churchill. She found 1.25 miles too far for 2 back, and last time out she was blocked, and she is a big price.
She's a big price, hard held in that race, takes a chance on the rail, does not get through. It cost her the race.
We'll head out to the paddock, though, to see what Maggie thinks of this very interesting field in today's 7th.
This is a fun field, Andy. I completely agree with you there, as we'll check in with the filly who is second off the layoff, and that is number 4, Moms on Strike here. A filly that I have been a fan of, especially on the turf. And with that race under her belt here for Joe Sharp, she is way tighter. I mean, I thought she looked good last time. I thought she ran credible enough, but she's just kind of got that race look to her, that race fit look. So I think she's primed and ready for this effort here. Now, we are dealing with 2 fillies that are coming off year-plus layoffs. That includes the import in here, the Irish import, in number 6, Ellery Lane for Chad Brown. Now, she's actually stretching out here for a stateside debut. She is on the smaller side, but I'm okay. I'm with it. I mean, she's 1 going the 7. She should be fine here, given the kind of circumference of this oval. It's on the inner track. She is very, very fit. Like Chad Brown's numbers say, he gets them ready and points them where they can win. I surely think Ellery Lane is a contender. Moving on to number 3, Great Import. Now, she does have some speed. She did in her debut, and honestly, it does not look as though she's missed over a year of racing. She's extremely fit in here. I don't think she'll have a problem either with the extra furlong, the 7 to a mile. She's a filly that isn't built like a sprinter, so it was kind of surprising to me that she won first time out going that distance back at Belmont on the front end. But Greg, we have saddles on and we're about to head postward for this 7th.
Maggie, thanks. Yes, we are. Pick 4 pool, close to 450,000 and growing. The 7th race, 1 mile over the inner turf. Well, the post parade when we come back. Still to come, new money. Honey taking the Good Samaritan angle that worked for trainer Bill Mott, the Jim Dandy. We'll be back.
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warfront. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 Mile at Keeneland. Then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. With a pedigree free of Mr. Prospector in the first 4 generations, Data Link is the perfect outcross option. His first weanlings turned heads, selling well above the stud fee. Data Link at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2 and MSG Plus, various regional networks across the country. Thanks for being with us on Alabama Day. I want to remind everyone to get involved with this. It's the Saratoga Showdown, giving you a chance to play the races without risking any of your own money. Visit SaratogaShowdown.com or go to NYRA.com, create a profile, and you can win 50,000 NYRA Bets wagering points, equivalent to $50, and an entry into a 2018 Belmont Stakes prize package valued at over $2,000. We'll update it later on in the show to see how everyone is doing. Race 7 post-parade. We begin with La Sola Ranger, trained by Mark Casse with Junior Alvarado.
I think a live runner here had no running room at all throughout the whole race, so you really don't know what you have here.
Entry mate will break third to the outside. Giada Vegas, Florent Giroux for Mark Casse.
Well, you know you're going to get with this 4-year-old filly. This horse is going to lay way back and make one run.
Dangerous speed on the rail with Miss Kentucky stretching out for Rusty Arnold with Jose Lizcano.
She needs to improve dramatically from her lone turf start, but she will be the inside speed. Tough spot.
Great import. She won first time out. We haven't seen her now for over a year for Kieran McLaughlin and Godolphin.
I thought she was good, too. She dueled most of the way, took control late in stretch, and won that. She's going to have to battle the layoff, but she's a player in here, at least early.
Second choice on the board, Mom's on Strike. It's Kendrick Carmouche riding for trainer Joe Sharp.
A very logical horse who has run well in both of her turf starts. She's second off the layoff, horse to beat.
Claiborne Farm sends out the daughter of Blame here for Todd Pletcher with John Velasquez aboard Chastise.
Maybe the long shot in here, if you look back to her 2-year-old firm, behind Party Boat and Dream Dancing. We'll see Party Boat a little bit later. Dream Dancing's in the Del Mar Oaks a little later.
Chad Brown sends out Ellery Lane. Javier Castellano rides. Lost to multiple Group 1 winner Roly Poly last out.
First start in nearly 14 months, but finished close in a Group 3 in Europe. In her last one, gets Lasix.
The 7 Bonita Springs for Empire Equines. Eric Consell aboard for Tom Bush.
And put it all together in her last start, beating an okay field, but that's a state-bred New York bred. She needs to step up big time here.
Danny Gargan trains Glory to Kitten. Manny Franco on board.
You know, she's run well enough on speed figures to be a contender as she cuts back in distance.
And for the Phipps stable, here is Vagabond. Irad Ortiz Jr. rides for Shug McGahee.
This is the unlucky horse in this field. So much trouble, this filly. I don't know if she causes her own, but she had a ton of it. It might have been best last time.
Up and over 565,000 in this pick 4 pool. There is the Claiborne runner Chastise. She is a daughter of Blame. It was trained by Al Stahl and won the Breeders' Cup Classic back in 2010. Handing Zenyatta the only loss of her career. He's named Champion Older Male, and that was named the NTRA Moment of the Year. There you see him on the farm in Paris, Kentucky. Never finished out of the money in his career, and he got his first Classic winner when Senga was victorious in the Group 1 French Oaks.
Yeah, and trained by Mr. Albert Stahl, who happened to be the roommate of one of our colleagues, Mr. Amos, in college. Very good friends, but he did a great job with him, Blame, beating the great Zenyatta.
Incredible finish in that race. All right, let's see what you did here in this pick 4, Paul. It's a tough sequence coming up, but that means good value.
No, it is. It's great value today, isn't it? I mean, I thought this race was tough. I'm going to go 1, 4, 6, 8, and 9 in here. I thought the 6 you had to use. It's Chad. I thought the 8 is sneaky on the cutback. Danny Gargan's got pretty good numbers. 3 and 6, La Coronel and Uni. I think those are the 2 best horses in the race. La Coronel is a freaky type of horse. I think Uni ran a good race last time out. Race number 9, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like it tis well. I'm taking my shot against New Money Honey and some of the other horses in here. And then the last, which is very tough. I do like the 7 remarked the most in there. I had a trouble trip, and I'm just not going to let Pletcher beat me again in the last. I'll use the 1 assertive.
Yeah, we've let that happen too many times, too, especially the nightcap, it seems like, at this meet. Pick 4 up at over $600,000. Second choice on the board right now, Mom's on Strike. Filly trained by trainer Joe Sharp, who's standing by with Gabby right now.
Thanks, Greg. Yes, we had to run him down, and we're back at the paddock here, but Mom's on Strike is sent out by Joe Sharp here today. And, Joe, she was coming off of a layoff last time out. How much do you think that that helped her to kind of boost her into today?
I think it helped her a ton. Obviously, I gave him a hard time. I said she was fit to go a mile and 16th, not a mile and 8th, and she ended up, you know, wasn't a bad ride, just an unlucky trip real wide last time and just got a little late on us. So, you know, the cutback in distance today should help, and obviously 1 start under her belt. her work back off that race was fantastic, and she's a pretty special filly.
Special to you, to your barn, and obviously just her previous performances. She looks like she's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, she had some troubles with ownership, and we got that worked out and got her sold in barn, and I think that maybe missing part of her 3-year-old year was a blessing in disguise, as big as she is. So we're looking for a good 4- and 5-year-old year from this mare.
And hoping for maybe a little bit of a more delayed move from off the pace here today. Talk a little bit about Gervin specifically. Obviously, it was his workout this morning, final preps for the Travers, but how important is this race a week from today?
You know, honestly, for us, it's you know, kind of frosting on the cake, because the Haskell was fantastic, a huge feather in his cap and our cap. You know, but as far as the 3-year-old picture goes, I think, you know, to win another Grade 1 would probably be probably put him at the head of the list, having won 2 Grade 2s and a Grade 1 already. So, in terms of a champion 3-year-old, I think that it's huge. You know, for Gervin, we're just, you know, looking forward for him getting to do what he does best at his best physical condition, which he's in right now.
Well, it must have been an incredible experience to take the Haskell, and congratulations to that, and best of luck here.
Thank you, Gabby.
Back to you, Greg.
Gabby, thanks. Yeah, it's going to be big for Gervin. Haskell winner, and that is next weekend for Joe Sharp. We'll hear more from him later on in the show about Gervin and the Travers. Glory to Kitten, the 8-horse trained by Danny Gargan. With more on that runner, let's go to Maggie.
And Greg, talk about a guy who's having a banner Saratoga meet. That is trainer Danny Gargan. And besides Moms on Strike, I think Glory to Kitten is the next physical that you want here in this race. She looks fantastic. She's carrying great coat, great flesh, and she's gotten a fairly aggressive warm-up beneath jockey Manny Franco. She's moving nicely, sweetly underneath of him, and I think the turn back in distance from that 1 3/8 race to the flat mile here might be good. And like I said, with that aggressive warm-up, he's, you know, kind of indicating to her, hey, you got to get your running shoes on a little bit earlier. We're going to be involved a little bit sooner than your previous effort. So I like Moms on Strike and Glory to Kitten here. Greg?
Hitting the 8, coming out of a tough race. The winner of that race was second in a Grade 3 here. The second place finisher has gone on to win 2 straight for Todd Pletcher. Let's talk about pace, though, in this race, Paul. Okay. The 2 on the screen, Miss Kentucky, she's stretching out of 5.5 furlong turf sprint. She will be on the lead, you would expect, and speed has been very dangerous on the inner turf, and Jose Lescano has been one of the primary riders who's taken advantage of that on the inner turf.
Well, she's going to be in front. It depends how keen the 3 is guys downstairs, but listen, she got unfooted by Unchained Melody her first time out. Other than that, she's going to get to the front end in here.
She's probably the speed, and I agree with what Paul's saying, great import. I don't think it makes any difference. Her turf debut was dreadful. She was in a small field. She was wired. She's going to have to run a lot better than that to beat this field, speed or not.
And she's also going to have to show the ability to stretch out to 2 turns. You know, both those 2 horses on the inside are coming off 1-turn races. I think they really, neither of those clears each other, but I think they keep the pace honest, which is important for this race. But the race circles around the race that we watch, which involved the 1, La Sola Ranger, the 4, Moms on Strike, and then towards the outside, the 9, Vagabond. I think those horses are key players in this race because that's a key race that they came out of.
I don't disagree with any of that. Listen, if you want to bet Miss Kentucky, she's a very big price, and if you like her, you shouldn't not bet her because Tom and I don't like her. And we're right, she's the speed, but I don't think that tells the story.
But let me ask you a quick question, because I want to Maggie's point. You look at the 8's back PPs, there is some speed. So does Manuel Franco send, and does that horse end up sitting the 3rd or the 4th slot?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe she's 3rd or 4th, the 8-horse Glory to Kitten. It's not impossible, obviously, Paul. I don't know if it matters. You know, listen, she's got speed figures that make her a factor. I wouldn't argue that she has a chance in this race. I mean, I think she's about the 4th or 5th likeliest winner.
She needs the 2 and the 3. The 8 Glory to Kitten. She needs them because she's coming off these major marathon races. Her mindset is geared right now towards those longer races, and I'll show the training as well as probably the warm-up are designed to get her more into the race. She's going to need that speed to give her close a chance.
Yeah, she comes out of a 1 3/8 marathon last time out, and she wasn't even on the lead in that race. Before that, 1 1/4. So shortening up to a mile, she's hoping for sure that great import the 3 can duel early on with a 2, Miss Kentucky. It's the start of the late pick 4 here on Alabama Day. And it is Moms on Strike who has become the post-time favorite, the 4 here for trainer Joe Sharp. There she is. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call, Larry Colmus.
Here's Glory to Kitten moving into the starting gate. Will be followed by Moms on Strike. 2-1 favorite is in. Here comes Chastise. And finally Vagabond. Going in. They are all in line. They're off. John of Vegas was slow to get going. It's Great Import and Miss Kentucky out for the lead together. These two are going to speed off from the others. Bonita Springs is 3.5 lengths them already as these two just roll along up front into that first turn. It is going to be Miss Kentucky to get away 3/4 of a length. Great Import is running in second by 2. Bonita Springs is third. Chastise is fourth on the inside. Then Vagabond in fifth, followed on the inside by Glory to Kitten as they make their way to the backstretch. And then comes Ellery Lane, La Solar Ranger, things starting to slow up front. Then Moms on Strike in John of Vegas, 24 flat was the quarter. The field tightens up with Miss Kentucky the leader just a neck. On the outside, Great Import is second by a length up the backstretch. Then Bonita Springs, Chastise on the inside, followed by Glory to Kitten in fifth. A length farther back, and then it's Vagabond on the outside of La Solar Ranger, who's down toward the rail. Behind them, Ellery Lane, Moms on Strike, and John of Vegas. The half was 48.74. They're racing for the far turn. Miss Kentucky the leader by just a neck. Here's Bonita Springs ranging up on the far outside. Between those two, Great Import starts to backpedal a bit in third. On the rail, Chastise is fourth. Glory to Kitten circles up on the outside with Vagabond as they come to the final furlong. Bonita Springs to the front. Bonita Springs taken on by Glory to Kitten on the outside. Chastise comes charging through an opening at the rail. Chastise is taking the lead now. John Velasquez up the rail with Chastise. Glory to Kitten fights back. Late move, La Solar Ranger. Chastise won it. And then it was Glory to Kitten, La Solar Ranger, and a photo between Vagabond and Moms on Strike in 135.98.
Chastise in the Silks of Claiborne Farm, the daughter of Blame for trainer Todd Pletcher with John Velasquez the win.
Wow, what a ride here by Johnny V. Rolling the dice along the pine, 21-1. Looked like the 8 got a great trip here and was going to sit off Bonita Springs, but was not able to sort of put that runner away. And Chastise sneaking up that rail, that 2-year-old form holding up, guys.
Well, I say she improved on her 2-year-old form. Gabby Gaudette liked this horse on Talking Horses. I don't know why, but that was a great pick. But trips are important in turf racing, and this horse got about as good a trip as you could possibly get.
She did, but credit to Todd Pletcher. Horse hasn't run since last October. Nothing in the form looks like it's going to win this race today, and he pulls it out. That's what makes great trainers great.
21-1, tremendous selection from Gabby as Chastise gets the win here. What's that?
I was home. I thought I was home. What a great ride. Here's the thing, the 5-1 with a little bit left.
Let's go to Gabby for more.
Well, Greg, I really like this horse specifically because, you know, I love 3-year-old distance turf races. You always get tremendous value, in my opinion, because people aren't always aware of how much a 2-year-old can improve off their turf form in their 3-year-old season. And she was competing against the likes of Party Boat, Dream Dancing. We're mentioning it. They're both quality stakes types of filly, so I thought that she would take that step forward. But hats off to Todd Pletcher. Phenomenal training job with getting this filly off of the layoff. We'll go out to Maggie, who's standing by with the winning jockey, Johnny Velasquez.
Sometimes those inside trips work out, sometimes they don't, but boy, did it work out for you today. I saw you were a little tight in down the backside, and then it opened up.
Yeah, let's slow down right here on the first turn as soon as we got to the backstretch. And I was meant to, like, I'm going to stay here as long as I can, hold my position. And when they tried to squeeze away in the 5/16 pole, the horse on the lead, so I tried to follow him, and then it was a little bit tight in the quarter pole going to 3/16 pole, and she took the spot, made me look really good.
Johnny, you are 2 for 2 on this filly. Talk a little bit about how she's improved now as a 3-year-old from when you rode her in her maiden score down at Keeneland.
You know, it's funny, I went back to see her how she ran in Keeneland, and it was almost exact the same thing that what we did today, although we went around and the quarter pole and keel, and today we stay in the inside, and she was brave enough to take the spot, and she did it for me.
And Johnny, we were off the turf yesterday. Now we're back on here today. What can you tell us about the turf course? Is there a lot of moisture? Is it dried up pretty nicely?
It still has a lot of moisture in it. You know, it's not completely firm yet. It's still a little bit loose on top of it. Obviously, you have to expect that, you know, from the rain that we had the other day. But they have it pretty tight as well. You know, we've been rolling it, so it feels pretty good. You know, it doesn't have that really bad on it. You know, but a little sleepy.
All right, well, Chastise certainly liked it here today. Johnny, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
Maggie, thanks. Big number. And as Gabby said, I mean, this one had been facing some pretty nice horses, including Party Boat last time out, who we are going to see in the Grade 2 Lake Placid still to come. There is trainer Todd Pletcher.
Wow.
He collects his 28th winner of the meet. He is 3 up on Chad Brown for the training title, of course, with a long way still to go, but he's smiling because he is in good position right now. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back with more Saratoga Live. 7 years ago, Joel Rosario teamed up with Jerry Hollendorfer on Blind Luck to win the Alabama. He'll be on the horse to catch and the one to beat as he goes for a second coming up.
Summer of Dreams 4 is back at Foxwoods, and we've got guaranteed millions in cash and prizes up for grabs. Sign up free for Foxwoods Rewards and earn points playing our World Series of Poker and the Big Dream Slot Tournament with Mario Lopez. Also, try our new skill-based slots. Then, use your points for summer wonders like Lobster Madness, golf at the Lake of Isles, and shop the region's only indoor Tanger outlets. Foxwoods Resort Casino, the wonder of it all. Find your wonder now at foxwoods.com.
Hall of Famer John Velasquez at 21-1 here to start off the late pick 4 at Saratoga on Chastise here for Claiborne Farm.
Yeah, congratulations to Claiborne. They got to be excited about this filly by Blaine Battle of the Forest, Wildcat mare, rapid racer. And sometimes when you're a 2-year-old, it takes you a little time to grow. And wow, she ran giant today.
Standing by with the current leading trainer at the meet. Let's go downstairs to Gabby.
Yeah, Greg, we're pretty used to seeing Todd Pletcher in the winner's circle, but not so much seeing him win with 21-to-1 shots here at Saratoga. And Todd, first and foremost, did this filly kind of surprise you today?
Well, she'd been training really well. The team down in Monmouth had been pretty high on the way she'd been training. Last winter, she just needed a little time off. She went to Ocala, came back, and she's really improved for that. Been training well, and then she got a great ride from Johnny and a good ground-saving trip. It really worked out great.
It's kind of good to see, though, a lightly raced filly go through a really small spot down on the rail, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and Johnny was a little concerned. He said when she first went in there, she was a little bit timid, and then he was able to squeeze her in there, and she finished great.
All right, and obviously she's a Claiborne homebred. How many of you trained for Claiborne recently?
I've had a handful over the years, and just anytime you can get a horse for a team like Claiborne, the tradition that they have, it's great.
All right, well, a very impressive performance from this filly off the shelf. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Greg.
Gabby, thank you. Big price. You don't usually see those kind of numbers on Todd Pletcher runners, but he is having an outstanding meeting, winning with just about everything he sends out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's doing a lot of it on the turf. He's sort of winning it at Chad's game, but listen, Chad's not done. This is going to go down to the wire. But right now, he is on fire. And like I said, this is a filly that probably needed to grow a little bit. And, the 2-year-old form, not great. But I always say this, the best handicapping tool is time. And you look in her PPs, maybe she wasn't great, but she was running against Party Boat, Dream Dancing, and some good horses.
And a trainer that knows how to get them ready, certainly off the bench. Later in our feature race today in the Alabama, Joel Rosario will be aboard the Speedster, the one to catch in Unchained Melody. Had a couple of wins yesterday as well. He knew he wanted to be a jockey after attending the races as a 13-year-old in the Dominican Republic. After just 6 months in jockey school, he turned pro at the age of 14. He made an immediate impact as a pro and an immediate impact riding here in the States. Here's another edition of I Am.
I am Joel Rosario. I am a jockey. Growing up in the Dominican Republic, since I was a little kid, I don't know much, before about horse racing. First one is when I started, when I was an apprentice. I have a record of more than a professional jockey. Winning my first race, I started winning right away a lot of races, and I was leading right after that, like 4 years in the Dominican Republic. It was hard, yeah, in the beginning for a little bit. So I came here, nobody knew who I was, and came here over here, and then, a lot of people, they don't know they have a horse racing in the Dominican Republic. I remember he was one of the favorite. I know the horses have before that, I know the horses have a good chance probably to win the race, but you never know until you go and run and try.
Gates fly, they're racing in the Dubai World Cup, the Animal Kingdom out wide.
That was a very cool experience for me.
Animal Kingdom leads, Animal Kingdom 3 lengths in front of Red Cadeau, and Animal Kingdom wins the Dubai World Cup in a US-Australia combination.
Coming from Dubai, it was like a month after that, then I remember I was doing very well in Keeneland. I win the meet. And then I went to the Derby, where the horse who has the chance to win the race too.
Orb is coming with giant strides in the center of the track.
It was a very special moment.
Down to the wire, Orb has won the Kentucky Derby.
I went in the Dubai World Cup and winning the Kentucky Derby. After that, in less than 2 months, just amazing feeling, and just everything changed, you know what I mean? And then just my kid to see, my daddy win the Kentucky Derby, very emotional, Dominican Republic, everybody want to play baseball. I think after winning the Kentucky Derby, a lot of people know more about horse racing. Even the president of the Dominican Republic congratulated me, like I'm a jockey, so I want the people know, about the horse racing too, and then how it is, and it's a great sport. And I was the first Dominican jockey to win the Kentucky Derby, so it was even more special for me.
He is absolutely one of the best in the business, and allegedly his handshake, his grip, it is like a vice.
Yeah, and listen, I got a pleasure to play in Santo Domingo in winter ball, a great city in the Dominican Republic, and listen, he's come a long, long way. And if it wasn't for an injury after he won with Animal Kingdom and Orb, he was really taken off, and then injury slowed him down a little bit, but still, he's back on the high horse again. And 158 million in career earnings, not bad for a kid from Santo Domingo.
We're going to take a break in the action. Plenty more still to come here on Saratoga Live. We have the Grade 2 Lake Placid up next. And, of course, the Alabama. She beat the boys in the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown. Can Holy Helena mute Joel Rosario and Unchained Melody in the Alabama? We'll find out coming up.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse Awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish. From a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before. Back on Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2, MSG Plus, various regional networks across the country. Thanks for being with us. I want to remind everyone, the best racing at Saratoga and Del Mar have joined forces today. It's an all-stakes cross-country pick for this sequence. Kicking off with the Lake Placid in Alabama at Saratoga, ends with the Pacific Classic in Arrogate and the Del Mar Oaks from Del Mar. If you hit the pick 4 on Naira Bets, you get a 10% winner's bonus. All the details at nairabets.com. What will happen with this super horse? Arrogate back in action today out on the West Coast. Brilliant. It all started here in the Travers, of course, in the Dubai World Cup as well, and then he flopped in the San Diego. Send it downstairs. Tom Amos, what'd you make of his last work?
Well, there's a couple of things that are troublesome about Arrogate's last work. Watch him coming to the top of the lane here. Look at his head cocked to the outside. That is not typical of him. The rider's going to have to coax him to switch leads. He does it there. He doesn't do it. He'll do it again there. Finally, he gets over to his proper lead, and that's not the Arrogate that trained before the Pegasus World Cup or the one that trained before last year's Breeders' Cup, who, by the way, a week before those races, worked in company. You see him working on his own today, and I'm sure a part of that is that Bob Baffert wants to be easier on his horse. But that's a deviation from what he does with this horse a week before his big races. We need the Arrogate that we saw way back then. The Arrogate we're seeing in this particular work 1 week before the race. They're going to have to work to get to him to do those things correctly, and they have very little time to do it. One other point. When a horse in a work makes mistakes like this, he is using about 70% of what his speed's going to be in a race. Those problems are going to be accentuated in the full speed of a race as opposed to just a mild work where he's in hand and by himself.
Tom, I got a question for you then. Would you bet Arrogate out of this race?
I would not bet Arrogate out of this work, Paul. Number one, he's going to be a short price, but he's showing you things he hasn't shown you before. The horse is talking to us in that work. Works don't always translate to the way they run, but knowing his work pattern from before and watching his other works, I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
Some negatives. We'll see if he can return to what he has been, and he has been absolutely brilliant. We didn't see that horse in any way, shape, or form in the Pacific Classic Prep in the San Diego. And, of course, the horse who beat him, Accelerate, back in action against him as well.
The scary part about that is Collected beat Accelerate by 14.
Yeah, Bob Baffert with an insurance policy as well in the race with Collected. If you think Arrogate is vulnerable after a poor showing last out, here's your chance at a safety net with Naira Bet. You can bet 20 to win on one horse in the Pacific Classic and get $20 if your horse finishes second. If you take your chance on a long shot, that comes up short. You get your money back. Details at NairaBets.com. There it is. And, of course, that coming up is race 8 at Del Mar, part of that cross-country pick 4. Up next here at Saratoga, graded stakes action in the Grade 2 Lake Placid for 3-year-old fillies. La Coronel, the morning line favorite for trainer Marcassi. We're a little surprised at the price that we see her on the board at.
I don't know if I'm surprised or not. You know, she faced a tough group at Ascot. Her Edgewood win still, to me, is one of the better turf wins I've ever seen. She was 6 to 7 wide the whole way around the racetrack. Now, if you're ever going to take a chance to try to beat her, maybe today is the day. Coming off that race overseas, Proctor's Ledge, you can argue the 4 has gotten a little bit better, although La Coronel has handled her 2 times very handily. But then Uni, the outside horse taking all the money at 8 to 5, is the wild card horse behind New Money Honey and Sister Charlie, both Chad Brown runners that day who ran 1-2. Actually went 1-2-3 in the Belmont Oaks.
Yeah, completed the trifecta, the Belmont Oaks. It was Sister Charlie, though, is a little more highly regarded filly. She's on the shelf for a little bit. Uni, though, coming back here with more on this group. Let's go to the paddock with Maggie.
Grade 2 Lake Placid field set and ready here in the paddock, and we'll check in with the current favorite. That is on the outside with number 6, Uni. And Tom, Amos was just talking about horses running to their works. Well, it seems as though Uni's works, at least from that Belmont Oaks thereafter, have been very good. I will say that she looks as though she's come out of that race a bit more of a stronger individual. I didn't love the fact that she looked a little weak across her top line, and a lot of times that is, kind of indicative of a horse that just needs to strengthen up, probably because she hadn't trained here on the dirt that much, and now she is. She's kind of gotten used to it. Too, I like the turn back to 1 1/8 here. I think that suits her a little bit better just because she is on the smaller side overall. Now, one that returns here to the States from Ascot is number 3, La Coronel, from Mark Cassey. I'm going to use the wait-and-see approach here. I wish this filly was carrying a bit more flesh, a bit more muscle mass overall. Now, the only time I had seen her is when she, previously, is when she broke her maiden here as a 2-year-old in her turf start. she really hasn't taken that step forward, at least from my eyes, physically. We'll see what she does here, but I'd be erring on the side of caution, just giving her a race off of that Ascot effort. And then down on the rail is number 1, Coasted, for Leah Giramati. This is the best I've seen this filly look all year round here as a 3-year-old. She's finally filled out that hind end. She's gotten so much stronger. She's on it, but she's focused. She's certainly sharp, as she is accompanied by our outrider extraordinaire, Miguel, here, but she has not turned a hair whatsoever. I think this filly is primed for a better effort than what she's shown us here as a 3-year-old. Tom, Andy, what do you think here about this Lake Placid?
Pace is a question in here, Tom, and you and I are both interested in Party Boat, who finished second to Proctor's Ledge, but gets a 6-pound weight shift off that race. I think she's also going to be forwardly placed, probably behind Coasted.
Yeah, not only that, I like the extra 16th of a mile she'll get coming out of the Lake George. You're watching her here. She's going to run second. She's going to get beat by a horse in this race, the 4, Proctor's Ledge, who ran her biggest race of her career, getting Lasix for the first time. Maybe a little regression off of that race from Proctor's Ledge and some progression from Party Boat, who's making that second start since back in June at Penn.
I'm not sure they aren't the 2 best horses in the race, the horses coming out of the Lake George. I do want to touch on Uni before they hit the track, who is going to be favored and is favored in doubles. I think this horse is a horrendous bet in this race. And you know what? I'll make her a dunce cap horse because she's so badly overbet. She got 3rd because she got a sensational ride in the Belmont Oaks Invitational. She stayed on the rail. The rail was extremely strong on the inner turf course. The rail's coming down for the first time in a month. And Irad Ortiz did everything right staying inside to get 3rd. I don't think she ran badly. She ran fine. But I'm going to be very surprised if she beats this field, Tom.
She ran the best of the rest. I mean, the first 2 finishes, she wasn't getting to those. The best of the rest off a good trip. But here's the major problem with Uni, even if she runs her race today, and that is she needs pace up front for her late close. I don't see it coming from anywhere in this 5-horse field.
I agree. I think she's against her dynamics point, coming off a dressed-up performance. What do you do with La Coronel in here, coming in from Europe? I'm surprised she's not favored. And I'll tell you something else. She's a very nice horse. She had everything her own way in the Edgewood. She was wide because that was the best place to be. The inside was dead with all the rain they got. I'm not certain, forgetting about coming back from Europe, that she's better than the 2 or 4.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a question of what her ability is. She's real good in the spring, but you make a trip overseas, a young filly like this, and come back, and oftentimes it bites you on the butt. You're not the same horse when you get back. That takes a lot out of a horse to go over to Europe and back. That is the big question on La Coronel. Will we get the springtime La Coronel, or does that trip take its toll?
Will we get the dunce cap?
Getting set for the post parade coming up. I don't think we could disagree more with that Edgewood from La Coronel. That was a impressive performance that she put forward, having one of the widest trips we've seen in a while.
Yeah, I'm in disagreement with Andy on the bumps. That's one of the best races I've ever seen in my life for a turf horse, about 6 or 7 wide.
Post Parade brought to you by OCD Pellets, celebrating their 10th anniversary of supporting the equine industry with their 2-in-1 bone and joint supplement. Visit OCDpellets.com for more. Here is Coasted for Treadway Racing Stable, trained by Leah Giramati with Jose Ortiz.
Has the ability to be a factor in here at a price, needs a sharp break, could be on the lead.
Hope Jones sends out Party Boat, trained by Graham Motion. It's Joel Rosario aboard.
Yeah, second best last time to a horse in this race, the 4, Proctor's Ledge. This one, Party Boat, the 2, is going to like that extra distance today.
John Oxley, trainer Marc Casse, Florent Giroux team up with La Coronel.
Can she come back after being over in Europe 2 months ago, and has a dressed-up win prior to that in the Edgewood when she got a perfect trip?
Proctor's Ledge, completely disagree with that analysis. Javier Castellano, Brendan Walsh, and Patricia Mosley, and a horse who's won on this turf course.
Yeah, made a big improvement with Lasix to win the Grade 3 Lake George last time, and we'll try to build on that race today.
And Uni, sent out by trainer Chad Brown. Irad Ortiz Jr. for Michael Dubb and Head of Plains Partners.
She was 3rd in her American debut, albeit in a very good race. And she's going to need a quick pace to run at to get the job here done. And if she does get the job done, Andy's going to be wearing that dunce cap.
And, you know, Paul, you look at the board here, and 8-5 on Uni. I mean, obviously that's a sign that this horse is ready to run today. So.
Well, I mean, it's 8-5. Chad's so good with his runners. And listen, the 2 horses that beat him last time, I get it. The guys downstairs are a little bit right. It was a suck-up 3rd, but still, she beat some nice horses in there coming home. The cutback, she's really going to be rolling late.
We're going to take a break in the action.
The Grade 2 Lake Placid is coming up. Can Ledge start a Ghost Zapper double? Proctor's Ledge, Holy Helena, both daughters of Ghost Zapper.
Visit the new Rivers Casino and Resort, the Capital Region's only destination for live table game action and where the hottest new slots are paying out millions. Sign up for Rush Rewards and play up to $500 in slots on us. Plus, we'll double any casino offer and match your tier. Rivers Casino and Resort.
And they're off. NyraBet's Pick 5 is now available exclusively online at NyraBets.com. Bet the NyraBet's Pick 5 every race day with a 15% takeout on the last 5 races on the card from the country's best racing at Belmont and Saratoga. Find it nationwide on NyraBets.com right in the Bet Type drop-down menu or at any Nyra track or New York OTB location. NyraBet's Pick 5, racing's best bet.
Packed house here at Saratoga on Alabama Day. We're getting set for the Grade 2 Lake Placid 3-year-old fillies, going 1 1/8 miles on the turf. Why not earn a bonus on your trifecta in this race? Hit the trifecta on your mobile device in the Lake Placid and earn a 10% winner's bonus from NyraBets. Try bonus is offered every day. See the full list of stakes races and Bet Saratoga Racing nationwide at NyraBets.com, the official betting site for Saratoga Racecourse. 4 minutes to post in the Grade 2 Lake Placid as we send it down to Gabby for more.
Thanks, Greg. Standing by with the owner and breeder of Proctor's Ledge, Trish Mosley, and she's got a very interesting story. I'm going to let you tell the story because I don't want to mess it up. How was she bred, and how does her story begin?
Well, we had her dam, and they were selling auctioning a season to Ghost Zapper at the Thoroughbred Retirement Charity Party, and I bought it. That's simple.
And so you purchased the breeding rights for Ghost Zapper, and you bred your mare to Ghost Zapper. What have you seen kind of similarities between the mare that you owned and her and this filly?
Well, I see. Yes. Well, they're long stride. Their disposition, they don't look, they're not unalike, no.
And talk a little bit about her, because she just seems like a filly that just continues to improve with each and every start.
We're hoping, but Brendan took a long time bringing her around, and they never rushed her, and I think that's made a big difference.
And you have an excellent relationship with Brendan, and talk a little bit about that and his fantastic job conditioning her to where she is now.
Well, he's just a very patient fella, and I think he saw her ability early on, and so he's just taken his time.
All right, well, she looks absolutely fantastic in the paddock. Best of luck here.
Yeah, she's put on weight since her last weight. I like seeing that.
She absolutely has. And for a bigger look or a closer look on Proctor's Ledge, we head out to the track with Maggie.
And Gabby, I really truly echo the same sentiments in regards to Proctor's lead. She is the one that warmed up beautifully. She won me over here out on the track. She's a filly that's laid back, but certainly comes to life when she steps foot out on the surface. Now, the same can't be said for number 3. That is La Coronel. I just have feelings that this filly might be a little bit over the top, having that race at Ascot and having to travel around. She's the one that's completely washed out here. I just don't like to see that with fillies coming back here after a big kind of trip overseas. So we'll see what shakes out. I can be proven wrong here in the Lake Placid, Greg.
Maggie, thanks. Well, definitely something to keep our eyes on here and cause for concern. Certainly, if you are the connections of La Coronel, never easy to make that trip overseas and then return. We'll see what it takes out of her as we're getting set for the Grade 2 Lake Placid. Welcome to Saratoga Live. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. The Grade 1 Alabama still to come here and Saratoga Live. Up next, though, it is the Grade 2 Lake Placid. Greg Wolf, Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling, Tom Amos, Gabby Gaudette, and Maggie Wolfendale with you here for today's coverage at the premier race meet in all the country. You can play along from home as we bring you all these tremendous races by getting signed up and started with Naira Bets. Bet 200, you will get 200 in your account. Use the promo code PICK5 to take advantage of that offer. You can get signed up all across the country with Naira Bets by going to nairabets.com. So, Paul, we heard from Maggie Wolfendale, and for those who just joined us on Altitude Network may not have heard this, but La Coronel, little washed out and some cause for concern after making that trip to Royal Ascot, her first start back here in the States.
Yeah, talking about the 3 here at 5-2. There you see Flo the jockey, Florent Giroux. He'll be aboard this daughter of Colonel John, and she has been dynamic. She went over to Ascot on June 23rd in the Coronation Stakes and ran a very good 5th place finish. Now, how much did that take out of her? Maggie thinks that she might be a little bit lighter, and she is a little keyed up. Now, there's not a lot of pace in here. Maybe she is a little bit keyed up, and maybe she's going to be a horse that might be forwardly placed.
Now, Tom, Andy, you guys both agree here with Party Boat, who will try and turn the tables on Proctor's Ledge. But, Tom, I want to ask you, how much of a concern is that? We see some horses who can look like that and still run big races, though, right?
Well, the beauty of having Maggie out there watching these horses warm up is that she knows these horses. She's seen them before, and if La Coronel is not acting like herself out on the racetrack, if she's getting hot and washy, albeit a warm day outside, that is a cause for concern. Fillies tip their hand pre-race by getting like this. They're anxious. They're fretting a little bit about running. And if she's doing that, she's going to have a tough time of it. And we have reason for concern because she's been all the way to Europe and back. And we've seen so many horses, particularly fillies, not come back and run their best off that.
I have a thought in this race that might get me to wear the dunce cap. Looking more into Uni and knowing that Chad Brown's pretty smart, she showed speed in Europe. Is it possible they'll change the tactics and look to have her more forwardly placed? Or do you think, Tom, she was showing speed in slow-paced races? Because she showed some speed in races even at 7.5 furlongs, albeit on synthetic over in Europe.
Look, the key to winning in the European race is to be covered up. They like to be covered up. When those horses aren't covered up, usually they're overly aggressive and run their race too early. I don't see Uni showing speed. I see her having to be covered up. If you're saying she can be closer to the pace, that's one thing. But again, I say to you, what pace?
Well, I'm saying the pace is up for grabs, and I'm just presenting the possibility. Looking at her, she has been speed over in Europe at times, and maybe looking at that, they'll have the same feeling, and they'll try to change tactics. Just a thought. I don't like her, but I would say that if she wires I'll say it this way. If she goes the lead, I may be putting the cap on. If she comes from behind, I'll be shocked if I'm wearing it.
9-5 favorite, Uni. She broke near dead last in that States debut in the Grade 1 Belmont Oaks Invitational, but she certainly ran on strong, and now she will shorten up from 1.25 miles to 1.1 1/8.
Yeah, you know, when the guys downstairs talking about pace, is it going to be Coasted? Is it going to be Party Boat, the 1 or the 2? You look at the La Coronel, the 3, no chance slot in the Edgewood and still won it, and then the 13-hole in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Other times has been able to show okay pace in slowish races, and I'm wondering that she is a little keen that she's going to be up on the pace today, or at least laying third instead of a little bit farther back.
Let's send it upstairs to the voice of the Triple Crown for the load and the call of the Grade 2 Lake Placid from Saratoga. Here's Larry Colmus.
La Coronel and Florent Giroux have moved into the starting gate. Here is Proctor's Ledge. And last in will be the current 9-5 favorite Uni under Erad Ortiz Jr. She's in, all in line and ready for a start. They're off in the Lake Placid. Party Boat broke very well and takes the lead. La Coronel is right with her, so's Coasted on the inside. Proctor's Ledge will sit back off of them, and Uni is last of them all, and she's 8 lengths off the lead as they move into that first turn, where Coasted takes up the running from the rail. It is Coasted in front here, leading Party Boat by 1.5 lengths, and then it's La Coronel in third as they go past the opening quarter in 24.39 seconds. Proctor's Ledge is fourth as they make their way to the backstretch. She's 4 lengths off the lead. Uni is last of the 5. It is Coasted and Jose Ortiz making the pace in the Lake Placid, 3/4 length to Party Boat. La Coronel tracks them in third. She's got 3 lengths to make up at this point. Proctor's Ledge, 4.5 lengths off the lead. Uni continues to race at the back. 50.03 was the half mile for Coasted, whose lead is 3/4 length. Joel Rosario keeping Party Boat close. And then comes La Coronel in third with a half mile to go. An unhurried Proctor's Ledge is fourth at this stage, still 4 lengths to go, and Uni. Around the far turn, Coasted all the way so far. And her lead is now 1.5 lengths to Party Boat. La Coronel's a bit closer in third. 3/4, 114.11. Proctor's Ledge gets going from fourth. Uni has been last every step of the way so far. They're into the stretch. Coasted taken on by Party Boat. La Coronel. Proctor's Ledge comes up on the outside of them. Uni is going to make her run down the center, and she's coming too. 5 of them into the final furlong. Here's Proctor's Ledge. Proctor's Ledge has taken the lead. Uni charging on the outside. Party Boat is down toward the inside. It is Proctor's Ledge and Uni. Proctor's Ledge wins the Lake Placid. Uni was second best, and then it was Party Boat and La Coronel in 147.74.
Proctor's Ledge comes to Saratoga and getting real good. Back-to-back graded stakes wins now here at the meet.
Yeah, she really was just best in this race. It's funny, they weren't moving up front, but pace didn't really matter. You know, the cartoon is gloating. Okay, the cartoon is gloating because Uni didn't win, but I wasn't particularly smart there about Uni. She actually ran a terrific race there to be second, but the pace didn't hold together. She probably shouldn't have been favored over Party Ledge, but you know what? The best horses ran 1-2 here, Tom.
Yeah, look, if you're a trip handicapper, Uni is in your business next time out. No pace to run out, goes to the outside. She truly explodes from that outside position down the stretch. She just is left with too much to do and too many other horses that were in front of her that have enough gas in the tank to hold her off, in particular, the 4 Proctor's Ledge, now 2 for 2 since going to Lasix.
4, 6, 2, 3 Proctor's Ledge. Back-to-back graded stakes wins here. Javier Castellano for Brendan Walsh. And remember, this was Brendan Walsh's first win at Saratoga back in the Lake George, I should say.
Pretty cool stuff. I'd like to be there the day she won at 49-1 when she broke her maiden. Now she's a grade 2 winner. And you're right, she is moving forward and getting better and better.
She's just a very, very nice filly. You know, La Coronel, maybe the trip to Europe didn't help her in this race, but I really don't agree with you guys and just don't know if she's really as good as this horse at the end of the day.
Well, not today she wasn't, that's for sure.
Let's go to Maggie standing by with Javier Castellano.
Exactly right here, Greg. And Proctor's Ledge, as Javier pulled up, said, man, she's cool.
I really like the filly, the way she does every single step. The way she performed, the way she does everything. Nothing bothered her. She laid back. She really comfortable. Even in the race, you can see the pace was slow. She come out laid back, you know, come from behind horse. I really like the way she finished. Very professional. I love the way she run.
As she certainly had pretty much the same exact trip that she did in the Lake George here, Javi, and she's a filly that seems to like it up here in Saratoga, and you've been aboard both wins. Talk about, was there any difference from this time to last time?
No, the only I can tell you about the difference this time in the Lake George, the pace was slow. And she was basically off the pace, you know, the way she finished. Really impressive the way she did it. And the race, the pass, have a little more pace. And she still finished. No matter what you can put it, she always show up.
That's nice to have one that just is push button as Proctor's Ledge. Javi, congratulations.
Thank you, Maggie.
All right, looks like Brendan Walsh has a pretty nice one here, guys, as far as turf fillies are concerned.
Yes, he does. The Grade 3 Lake George back on July 21st here at Saratoga, and now adds the Grade 2 Lake Placid. And still to come, a filly who would have been the favorite in this race, and she's opting instead to try dirt in the Alabama. That's coming up next. She will go against New Money Honey. This one here, Unchained Melody, the confirmed speed. Will she be all by herself? Can she handle 2 turns? Can she handle 1.25 miles? We're going to find out next.
How do I see New York bred performance? Like this.
Disco.
Here's New York sire Disco Partner setting a new world record in the Jaipur.
Holy mackerel.
And they perform like multiple Grade 1 winner Mind Your Biscuits.
Biscuits, and he's pouring it on late.
Shown here, winning the Belmont Sprint Championship. And New York breds perform in the sales ring, where this filly sold for $750,000. Look for your registered New York performer at upcoming auctions.
Multiple Grade 1 winner First Samurai by Giants Causeway got off to a quick start at stud, siring Grade 1 winners in each of his first 3 crops. His talented son Lee captured the Grade 1 Don Handicap in record time and retired to stud with over $2.3 million in earnings. Sovereign Award nominee Stack Deck captured the Grade 3 Bold Venture Stakes and Grade 2 Kennedy Road Stakes, both just to tick off track record times. First Samurai at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
You're watching Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2, MSG Plus, and Altitude Networks. A jubilant Javier Castellano teams up with trainer Brendan Walsh and Patricia Mosley. Nice story with how this 3-year-old filly came to be. The daughter of Ghost Zapper gets the win now in back-to-back graded stakes wins.
Some of the best things happen at auction. You just never know what's going to happen in horse racing. And wow, this filly by Ghost Zapper, now 4 for 8 lifetime, has got over $200 and some odd thousand in her bank.
Trainer Brendan Walsh, he came into this meeting at Saratoga having never won here, and now he's got 2 graded stakes wins. Let's go downstairs to Maggie.
I'm standing by with Brendan Walsh and Proctor's Ledge. What a performance she put in today. Just overall, your thoughts of her race today. She tipped out and she was rolling home.
Yeah, no, she was impressive today, Gabby, against them good fillies. You know, I think she improved again off of her last run, and you know, we're just delighted with her, thrilled with her.
And she's a filly that is kind of bigger in size, Brendan. Do you think that she's a filly that's just really starting to find herself now?
Absolutely, yeah. I think, you know, we were scratching our heads a little earlier in the year. didn't have the best of trips or whatever. But, you know, maybe she needed to do that, you know, physically and mentally to get to where she's getting to now. So I'm hoping she'll improve a little bit more again, you know.
And what could we see from her next?
I would think, you know, we look at all them nice races in the fall, maybe Keeneland, you know, for a start anyway, and just go from there. Keep her healthy.
Now, you were injured last Thursday at Churchill. How are you holding up?
I'm feeling a lot better after that. That'll always help.
Well, I saw you jumping around cheering this filly on. Are you sure you're okay?
I don't know. I could be a bit sore tomorrow, but we'll worry about that tomorrow.
You'll quickly forget that after a win like this. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Brendan Walsh. Well, he doesn't really mind having a broken arm here, guys, after that win.
Gabby, thanks. Yeah, nothing like a graded stakes win to numb that pain.
Adrenaline is the best medicine, my friend. Awesome stuff.
Proctor's Ledge, best of the bunch. And I think she likes it at Saratoga. Grade 3 victory in the Lake George early on in the meet. Nice piece of hardware to go along with the win here in the Lake Placid.
Yeah, good job there. And what a great job by Brendan Walsh, who's just taking his time with this filly, and she is onward and upwards.
The New York Racing Association is proud to offer the most extensive Spanish language content available in the United States. Luis Grandison provides pre-race analysis available on the NYRA Now app and all in HD. Here is Luis with the call of a race that kicked off the NYRA Bets late pick 5.
Faltando 200 metros, segundo va entrando, Raise Me Home, va avanzando por fuera, Meantime adelante, Raise Me Home, viene avanzando por fuera, Meantime mantiene cuerpo y medio, Raise Me Home avanzando, Meantime adelante, Raise Me Home avanzando por fuera, llegaron, pasó el viaje, Raise Me Home, a Meantime.
That was Race Me Home paying $28, beating Meantime, who was, I believe, an 8-5 favorite.
Yeah, and a horse that ran like her mama, Society Selection for Society Selection Syndicate, gets the job done. And then we had Chastise. That double, by the way, paid over $600 for $2 to Proctor's Ledge. So we have a shot here to be a single ticket payout.
Total pools, $240,000 plus. It's Saturday, so if you played your ticket through NYRABets.com, you're the only winning ticket. The minimum payout will be $300,000. So there's 60 extra grand almost in value in the pool there.
Exactly, and the pick 3 was $1,700 for the first 3 winners.
Whew,
and the pick 6, by the way,
bets, late pick 5s. Wow.
The pick 6 was a 14-1 shot before that, so I would think that's a carryover.
Yeah, I think we're already there. Time for what's trending. Let's take a look at what's news here in horse racing. When New Money Honey is running in the Alabama Stakes, and I graduated from the University of Alabama. Roll Tide. That's from Cassie Edwards. Has to be rooting for that.
That's awesome.
New Money Honey there. And then Pink Sparkling Wine for the Phillies. Happy Alabama Stakes, everybody. Can we get a bottle of that up here?
See, Michelle Pozzo's got the memo. You wear pink on Phillies Day.
Yes, you do. Well done, Michelle.
Good stuff, by the way. I need one of those wine corks.
What a race we just saw. We, of course, have the Grade 1 Alabama still to come. Every filly in this field is a stakes winner, but there's questions with a whole lot of them. Someone trying dirt for the very first time, another moving from synthetic to dirt. Questions at the 1.25 miles. A lot of questions to be answered. We'll try and do it right here.
Perfect 10.
Last year in the Alabama, champion Songbird proved the 3-year-old filly division was hers for the taking. And she'll be waiting in the wings for this year's group of 3-year-old fillies come Breeders' Cup. She could have plenty of talent waiting to meet that challenge. We start with Unchained Melody. She'll likely be the one to catch in front. She dominated in the Mother Goose, finding a gear no one could match. But that was at one turn and alone on the lead. If there is pressure up front, trainer Brian Lynch made sure she won't be caught off guard come post time, using a workmate and recent Belmont Stakes runner Meantime.
I wanted her to have a work where if something was to go with her, and you know, she may be the speed of the race and she may clear him, but if something was to go with her out of the gates, I wanted her to be able to relax.
Holy Helena has reeled off 3 consecutive wins, all at route distances and all progressively further than the race before. In her last race, she was dominant. beating the boys in the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown and at the 1.25 mile distance. But her trainer knows she still has plenty to prove in the Alabama.
It's a pretty big step, I think, just the quality of the horses. But, you know, at least she's been the distance and she's, you know, but what I like about her is she seems to have, even though she's done a lot in a short period of time, she seems like she's kept her composure.
Then there's New Money Honey. She's the reigning Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf winner and the leader of the division again this year after her Grade 1 Belmont Oaks win on grass. So why the sudden surface switch? Her trainer Chad Brown says trying her on dirt has been something he's always thought of with her. And she's been training great over dirt at Saratoga. He also thinks she'll love the distance after proving herself at 1.25 miles in her last start.
As they come down to the wire, the two of them will decide it, and it is going to be New Money Honey.
It Tis Well will look to give Jerry Hollendorfer a second consecutive Alabama after winning with Songbird last year. His filly is twice shipped out of California and is now 2 for 2 on road trips with a recent Grade 3 Delaware Oaks win.
It Tis Well, proud and fearless game. You know to an actress. It's going to be It Tis Well. It Tis Well. Actress coming late. It Tis Well.
Elate has something in her corner no one in this year's field can say. She's already run over the surface, and it was a huge effort. It took everything division leader Abel Tasman had, including some rough riding tactics from her jockey to intimidate Elate to keep her out of the winner's circle.
She may have been, you know, as good as the other horse in the race. She got, you know, slightly impeded, you know, approaching the wire. The other horse drifted down on top of her, and you know, it was a very tight finish.
Sound like a tough enough field? We also forgot to mention Black-Eyed Susan winner Actress, Graded Stakes winner Salty, and Kentucky Oaks third place finisher Lockdown. With one of the deepest fields in recent memory and all kinds of intriguing storylines, this year's Alabama is not to be missed.
We're 18 minutes to post. There is jockey Joel Rosario putting on the silks and ready to hop aboard Unchained Melody, the morning line favorite, who will be the one to catch on the lead in the 1.25 mile. Alabama next.
NyraBet's Pick 5 is now available exclusively online at NyraBets.com. Bet the NyraBet's Pick 5 every race day with a 15% takeout on the last 5 races on the card from the country's best racing at Belmont and Saratoga. Find it nationwide on NyraBets.com right in the Bet Type drop-down menu or at any Nyra track or New York OTB location. NyraBet's Pick 5, racing's best bet.
How do I see New York bred performance? Like this.
Disco.
Here's New York sire Disco Partner setting a new world record in the Jaipur.
Holy mackerel.
And they perform like multiple Grade 1 winner Mind Your Biscuits.
And he's pouring it on late.
Shown here, winning the Belmont Sprint Championship. And New York breds perform in the sales ring, where this filly sold for $750,000. Look for your registered New York performer at upcoming auctions.
Back on Saratoga Live and getting set. The Grade 1 Alabama worth $600,000. And many of the best 3-year-old fillies in the entire country lining up to do battle here. You can build your bankroll for Travers Day with Naira Bets. Today, your last Saturday, and chance to do that by placing a $50 win bet on this Grade 1 Alabama. If you do so, you'll get a $20 credit in your account just in time for Travers weekend. Go to NairaBets.com for more. Standing by with the jockey of Unchained Melody. Let's go to Gabby.
Thanks, Greg. And Joelle, you were aboard Unchained Melody for her Mother Goose victory last time out. What did she show you in that race that gives you confidence moving forward? She can go 2 turns to the 1.25 miles.
Yeah, she's, I've been working her in the morning, before I was working before I got, running. I got to ride her in the Mother Goose, and then, she's a nice filly, so you just see what, going forward, see what we got.
And now, Joelle, her most recent workout was out of the gate, something that's unusual to see a horse that has a couple starts under her belt. What was the purpose of that? And I know you were aboard.
Yeah, she first time, she never run here in this track. I think, Brian want to sharpen up a little bit to just make sure to, she have a good break coming out of the gate.
All right. Well, she is extremely fast. I would imagine that's the tactic today to go the lead.
Yes, we're gonna try, see what everybody else is doing, and if somebody go, maybe we lay second. So we'll see how she breaks.
All right. Well, best of luck here, Joelle.
Thank you.
All right. A very talented filly there as we head over to Maggie with a closer look of the horses.
Gabby, I'll pick up where you left off with the horse you were just talking to the rider of, and that is number 5 in here, Unchained Melody. Look, physically, she looks fantastic. She's carrying great coat and a great flesh to her. Overall, she looks strong. She's well-muscled, all things you want to see. The problem with me is, well, for one, the distance. This filly has never been around 2 turns. She's never been close to 1.25 miles. She's a little bit on the smaller side, a little bit more built downhill, and that just leaves some questions in my mind. She's also wearing front bandages for the first time here for this Alabama effort. So that's a little cause for concern, at least from my end, with a filly that's going to be a short price. Now, moving on to the 1 in here, that's New Money Honey. I'm a fan of this filly, no matter what surface she's on. I'm fairly optimistic about her chances here on the main track. The fact that Chad Brown has such confidence in her handling it gives me confidence. And he actually said to me after I interviewed him a couple days ago when he had won a race that he had her cross entered in the juvenile fillies on the dirt as well, but left her in. Good thing, because she won the juvenile fillies turf. So he's thought all along that this filly can certainly handle the main track. So I like what I see from her. She is confident. She is ready for some action, as we'll check in with 2 of the Bill Mott horses. And look, both Bill's horses look super in here. I think both of his 2 are very likely upsetters here. But Lockdown, to me, looks like the one physically that should relish 1.25 miles distance. She's very, very long and lanky. She looks the best I've ever seen her. Guys, we have horses ready over on the set. Andy and Tom, take it away.
Unchained Melody. It's interesting. I was talking to Brian Lynch on the radio show at the Post the other night, and he had worked her actually with Meantime, who a 3-year-old who at 4 to 5 got beaten at the wire, but ran fairly well earlier today, and she beat him in the workout, and she sat behind Meantime. He's trying to get her to rate now. I'm sure, as you know, Tom, rating in the morning and rating in the afternoon are 2 different things. She's supposed to be clear here. I like the way she shows extra gears. Fast pace last time. I am a huge fan of this filly, and I think if she wins this race, she might be one of the best, if not the best, fillies or mares in the country.
Fast pace last time at Belmont Park, going a 1-turn distance. The dynamics change entirely today. 2 turns, and you're in a position where you have to get the 1.25 miles. You're watching her here. She's controlling everything. You could say it was fast, but when you're going that quick speed, that quick cruising speed, and no one is challenging you, you're doing it easy. Look at the 4 Lockdown in second. Earlier in this race, she has to use horse to get in position to even try and beat the winner, Unchained Melody. It's no crime that she got outrun here at the end because she was taken out of her game chasing a lone speed horse.
But don't you think that Unchained Melody just sort of throws out another gear and kind of ran away from Lockdown at the end of this race? Doesn't that concern you and suggest that maybe Lockdown won't be better going longer?
So the point I'm making is that Lockdown is trying to win the race. And midway through the race, Lockdown's rider knows the only way I'm going to get to Unchained Melody is I've got to move my position now, move sooner than I want to, and that makes her finish not look as good as I think it'll be today.
Can we talk a little about Holy Helena in this race, the 2-horse? You and I both think she can win, but she may be a little overbet. The 1, 2, and 5 in doubles will be very close in odds by post time, judging by the doubles. She's good, and you know she can get the distance, but can she do it effectively against this quality field on dirt?
Well, you're a fan of Holy Helena. I am not. I think she's a much better horse in the poly than she is in her initial dirt starts, even though she broke her maiden at Belmont. Look, her pedigree says she can. You know who she's a half to? She's a half to Holy Boss, our top sprinter, and her mom, look, did it on the dirt and the turf, so why not?
Yeah, I think she's dangerous. Price is the story. Now, New Money Honey, it is interesting because Chad Brown has always told me he was thinking of running her in the dirt. He told me after she won the Miss Grillo that he might run her in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies in the dirt. Things worked out, but he might have won that race. This is a no-lose situation for them because if she doesn't run well, so what? They go right back to the turf with her. She wins, and it's a huge win for them.
No, a huge win for them for sure.
Here comes our post parade, and we will start with the dirt debuter here, New Money Honey, a Keeneland Book 1 September 2015 sale graduate for E5 Racing Thoroughbreds, trained by Chad Brown with Javier Castellano.
Currently your favorite, and look for her to get position early. She has great tactical speed. Going to try the dirt for the first time.
Winner of the first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown, trained by Jimmy Jerkins, owned by Stronach Stables with John Velasquez, Holy Helena.
If she can transfer her form from synthetic to dirt, she's a huge player.
It Tis Well, the 3 is a Keeneland September 2015 sale graduate, trained by Jerry Hollendorfer, owned by Tommytown Thoroughbreds with Drayton Van Dyke.
Brutal trip in the Summer Oaks last time, grinded away at Delaware Oaks. This horse wants to go the 1.25 miles. I think a dangerous long shot.
Juddmonte Farm sends out Lockdown, 1 of 2 in the race for trainer Bill Mott. Manny Franco aboard.
She improves with every start. She must get the 1.25 miles, but she's a player.
The speed of the race, Unchained Melody, trained by Brian Lynch for Hidden Brook Farm. Joel Rosario aboard.
Yeah, the horse to catch definitely in here, and very, very sharp, coming off 2 really impressive wins, beating the one just before her Lockdown.
Salty had a brutal start to the Coaching Club American Oaks, trained by Mark Cassie, owned by Gary Barber, and with Tyler Gaffleone riding.
Arguably best in the CC Oaks when she blew the brake and made a big wide move. However, she too has to show that a 1.25 miles is in her wheelhouse.
Elate, she got intimidated by Abel Tasman in that Coaching Club American Oaks down the stretch. She's trained by Bill Mott, owned by Claiborne Farm, and Adele Dilschneider and Jose Ortiz aboard.
I'll tell you what, though, she's in very, very good form, and Jose Ortiz, I thought, gave her a good ride. Don't dismiss her today at a nice little price.
Mopatism, a Keeneland November 2014 sale graduate, trained by Doug O'Neill, owned by Redham Racing with Florent Giroux.
Longest shot on the board, and she's still a very talented runner, compromised by a wide trip with a slow pace and still earned a 90 by her speed figure last time.
And Gary and Mary West send out Actress for trainer Jason Service, and Rad Ortiz Jr. aboard the Black-Eyed Susan winner.
Lightly raced filly only 4 times. She always brings her game. I just don't know if she's good enough here. She's 8-1.
That is your field for the Grade 1 Alabama. Which 3-year-old filly will separate herself and stand alone at 1.25 miles? We'll find out when we come back. Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish. From a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Back on Saratoga Live, that is your reigning Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf winner and the leader of the 3-year-old Filly Turf Division, who was abandoning all that to try dirt for the very first time today in the Grade 1 Alabama. Her dirt debut for trainer Chad Brown at E5 Racing Thoroughbreds. How will she handle the surface? Right now, she is a modest 7-2 favorite, and her half-sister soon will be offered at the Keeneland September yearling sale. It's a daughter of Pioneer of the Nile. It was the sire of American Pharaoh, and the dam, a full sister to Any Given Saturday.
Wow.
So that one coming up at the Keeneland September yearling sale as we get a look at New Money Honey, who's been brilliant on grass to this point, Paul.
Really has, and it's gotten to the 1.25 test, the 1.8 test, past all of them. And what you love about her, she's won on the front end, she's won from off the pace, she's very versatile. So you got to give her that, even though she has the inside slot.
Meanwhile, the leader of this division on dirt, not here, that is Abel Tasman. She won the Coaching Club American Oaks, and a lot went wrong that certainly didn't hurt her winning that race for a couple other runners in the race, including Salty here on the outside post in post 7, completely leaps out of the starting gate.
Yeah, this might have been a little bit of error. It had nothing to do with the gate crew. The starter might have just started a little too soon. What ended up happening was Salty was just never prepared for this. And again, I have mentioned this multiple times. This horse might have been best. You could argue in the Kentucky Oaks. She might have been best in some other races. But watch what happens here now. Salty's going to make the inside or the outside move, and now look at Elate on the inside. Elate shows a lot of courage. Salty just runs out of gas because of the beginning. But Abel Tasman made that middle move with Mike Smith and just kept Salty pinned from here on out. He knew he was in trouble, did Mike, about right here, and he was able to keep her inside Elate. Now, Salty's in the middle of the racetrack spinning her wheels. You might say she's the best. Elate ran a darn good race for a horse that was somewhat out of a tiny bit of form and tying a 1.8 for the first time. She feels to me like a filly that wants to go the 1.25.
Huge race, and for Mike Smith, it was just a veteran move to intimidate Elate as you take a look at her down on the inside and make it as tight as possibly could be. He really walked a tightrope here. There was a long inquiry. The stewards looked at it. They warmed him after. They said, we don't appreciate those riding tactics around here, but they let it go.
They did. They let it go. It was a touch-and-go situation. If you look, Jose's hitting left-handed. Mike is sort of bearing in. Does he ever bury him into the rail? No, he does not. I love that Jose Ortiz in the interview did not cry foul at all. He let it play, and I'm sure he's excited about his mount today.
With more on Elate, let's check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
Oh, guys, I am loving Elate out here on the racetrack. She warmed up so beautifully beneath Jose Ortiz. I think she can turn the tables here from the CC Oaks in this Alabama. She just checked every single box. Loving what I'm seeing from Elate out here on the track.
Well, good news there if you're a fan of Elate. Look, she showed that she likes this racetrack in that Coaching Club American Oaks. My only concern, and I guess it's not a concern after hearing from Maggie, would that race take a lot out of her?
Yeah, that's the one worry as you're looking at It Tis Well. And now It Tis Well did beat Elate in the Honeybee at Oaklawn. Now, I will give Elate credit. Elate probably was best that day. She had a ton of trouble. The thing that It Tis Well has, she has some early speed in this race, and I think she can stay up a little bit close. You look at her race in the Summer Oaks, she was very keen with the blinkers on. I think she's the one that can track Unchained Melody in here. And listen, to me, she looks like she's going to get beat right here by Actress. Actress sort of overlapped her after a little bit of a bad beginning and middle moved. But to me, It Tis Well might not have got a lot out of that race in the Summer Oaks. She was able to finish and able to put Actress away. She's going to have to improve, but I think tactically she sits a great trip in here. Mike Smith got taken off this horse because of a bad trip. Drayden Van Dyke with the ride.
Yeah, big moment here, Andy, for this young rider.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, I just disagree about this trip analysis. I think when you have a slow pace and two horses run 1-2 around the racetrack and one horse makes a big run from 8 lengths behind, the horse that narrowly loses despite a slow pace, Actress, ran much better. And I know we can argue about this forever, and I know Paul disagrees with me, but I strongly disagree here.
As a matter of fact, we did argue about it yesterday, in case you forgot.
I did, but I wanted to offer my opinion too.
I love it, and I'll give you my opinion. I could argue that this horse was better than Abel Tasman in the Santa Anita Oaks. How about that?
I disagree with that opinion, too.
Well, 14 to 1 on the board, I should say, if you like It Tis Well. With more on some of the other runners in this group, let's go to Gabby.
They're loading into the gate. Did get a chance to speak to Jimmy Jerkins on the 2, Holy Helena, and obviously she hasn't run since the beginning of July. I asked him about how she's coming into the race. He said she's just been putting in workman-like works coming into the race, but what he's seen from her, she's matured mentally, and that's exactly what you want going this distance on the main track, guys.
Your Breeders' Cup Juvenile Phillies Turf winner, meanwhile, New Money Honey, trying dirt for the first time. The 1, your favorite on the board, co-favorite, along with Holy Helena, going from synthetic to dirt, winning that first leg of the Canadian Triple Crown. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of our Triple Crown, Larry Colmus, for the call of the Grade 1 Alabama.
Lockdown has taken her spot in the starting gate, so there's 2 left to load. They are Mopetism and Actress. Mopetism steps forward and in. And Actress and Gerard Ortiz Jr. will be the last to load here. She takes her spot in the starting gate. They're all in line, and we are ready for the start. Mopetism restless. They're off in the Alabama. Unchained Melody had a very good start. It Tis Well goes with her on the inside. So these 2 out to the early lead together. Elate is away running in 3rd. New Money Honey is 4th. Holy Helena 5th. And then Salty and Mopetism on the outside. Lockdown is 2nd last. And the early trailer is late running Actress. They race for the first turn here. And It Tis Well takes up the running. New Money Honey slips through on the inside. Holy Helena and Unchained Melody are right alongside of her. So Unchained Melody off the pace through a 23.46 opening quarter mile. Mopetism races on the outside of Elate and a ground-saving Salty. Lockdown comfortably placed behind them. She's 7 lengths off the lead. Actress trails the field. It Tis Well and Drayden Van Dyke lead them up the backstretch in the Alabama. They've run the first half mile in a very solid 46.96 seconds. Unchained Melody's a length and a half off the lead. Then New Money Honey on the inside. Holy Helena, the Queen's Plate winner, right between those 2. And then comes Elate on the outside of Salty. Lockdown is still 6 lengths behind. And then it's Mopetism, and Actress trails the field. It Tis Well, every step of the way. 3/4 up in 110.92. It continues to be a very swift pace here in the Alabama. Her lead is a length. And now, dropping through the field is Unchained Melody. She has stopped on the far turn. Unchained Melody has stopped on the turn. It Tis Well's lead is 3/4 of a length. Elate is now 2nd. Lockdown has made a bid into 3rd. Actress is closing on the far outside. She's coming wide around Salty. Then Holy Helena and Mopetism, and they're into the stretch, and Elate has taken the lead. It is Elate coming to the final furlong in the Alabama, putting away It Tis Well. Salty runs through an opening on the inside up into 3rd. Lockdown is 4th, and then Actress on the outside, but Elate is clear. Elate has moved away to a 4-length lead in mid-stretch. It Tis Well clings to 2nd, and then it's Salty. Elate has won the Alabama. A strong win here by 5.5 lengths. It was close for 2nd between It Tis Well and Salty, and then came Actress in a final time of 2 minutes 2.19 seconds.
A homebred for Claiborne Farm and Adele Dilschneider. Elate gives Bill Mott a 3rd Alabama victory.
Super performance by Elate, coming back in 3 weeks off of a hard-fought race. Great call by Maggie Wolfendale to say she looked great on the racetrack and was her pick. Elate ran to her looks. So often that happens in horse racing.
Yeah, and you know what? She just circled this field, Andy. Like, I was rooting for the 3. I was happy he went to the front end, but when she swooped on by, there was just no resistance, and much the best.
No, it was a trade pick by Paul with the 3, the long shot. She ran very well in there, but Elate was just an hour the best. It almost reminds me of Royal Delton. A great win for Claiborne Farm, and it shows the patience of Bill Mott. It's a horse that ran a Grade 1 winning debut at Aqueduct, and it's been a frustrating run, but she's finally put it together, and that's what Bill Mott does so well. He shows patience, he is patient, and it eventually pays off. And Elate ran a sensational race today, and she's been just great up at the spa. Congratulations to our terrific sponsor, Claiborne Farms.
Well, the thing going into this race, and the guys downstairs, Tom and I talked about this, Andy and I talked about this. Were you going to pick the Mother Goose, or were you going to pick the Coaching Club American Oaks? Which race was liver? It was the Coaching Club American Oaks. Salty ran a really good 3rd again.
Yeah, 2 horses coming out of the CCA Oaks run 1st and 3rd, but it was all about Elate.
in a dominant performance. Let's go to Maggie.
Here with winning rider Jose Ortiz. And Jose, how good does it feel after that CC Oaks hard-fought second to dominate this Alabama field?
I mean, it feels great. I think she proved herself today after that, what happened in the coaching club. And I'm glad she did it, and she did it in a good fashion.
She did, and she seemed as though she gained something out of that hard-fought effort coming into this one.
Yeah, she gained a lot. I mean, she won really easy today, and I got to thank the owner and Bill for giving me the opportunity to ride her. We were very high on her since the first moment I got on her in the morning, and I'm glad she just won today, the Alabama.
And you said you got on her before she even ran, and you felt that specialness about her.
Yeah, we were very high on her. That's what, when she won by 12 lengths, I said, woof. Bill trained Royal Delta. Hopefully she will be like that. But, you know, she went a little bit off form, but I'm glad she's back and she's proving that we were right.
I'm loving it here in this spa. This Claiborne Adele Dilschneider owned Elate. Jose, congratulations on your first Alabama win.
Thank you.
Guys, it sure seems as though this filly likes the spa and looking, as Jose said, like another Bill Mott trainee in Royal Delta.
Very much so. I'm not going to put it in the same category as what we saw in the Travers last year, but a little Arrogate-like. That was a big move.
It was a big move. And, you know, you start wondering now what happens to some of the favorites. You're going to have to go back and look. The horses that were up on the pace, Holy Helena was up on the pace. Looked like he was keen, Andy. New Money Honey sat an inside trip. But you just don't know. She might be a turf horse and didn't like to kick back.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. She obviously didn't handle it. Neither did Holy Helena. And obviously something went wrong with the 5-horse Unchained Melody. She wasn't in great position to begin with, and she dropped back, was virtually eased. She's a much better filly than that.
You know, if you look at the Grade 2 Lake Placid and our winner, Proctor's Ledge, who won her prep here in the Lake George, and you turn to this race, the Grade 1 Alabama, and you take a horse like Elate, barely beaten in the CCA Oaks. Horses for courses. These two horses, of course, different surfaces, but they love it up here at the spa, and they have shown a new dimension and a new talent level up here from their previous races.
You know, Andy, you said something about Jose Ortiz. This horse ran a Grade 1 winning race when she won first time out. When Jose was walking back after he lost to Abel Tasman, the CC Coaching Club Americanos, he was not upset. He was so happy with the way this horse ran and was back to her form.
Meanwhile, Andy had mentioned the issues with Unchained Melody, who dropped out of the race in here for a report. Let's go to Gabby.
Thanks, Greg. And just checking in on Unchained Melody, the saddle was taken off of her and she was put in the horse ambulance. She's on her way back to the backstretch right now. But I talked to Joel Rosario and he did say nothing felt physically wrong with her. She was just very lethargic. She wasn't in the bridle, so he pulled her up as a precaution, Greg.
All right, Gabby, thank you for that report. Any more information, we will certainly pass it along. Elate Claiborne Farm, Hall of Famer Bill Mott victorious with jockey Jose Ortiz here in the Grade 1 Alabama, and it was a dominant performance after getting intimidated in the Coaching Club American Oaks. What a way to turn the tables and come back with a Grade 1 win. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back with more here on Saratoga Live. Chad Brown overseeing Cloud Computing's morning works and looking for better in the gym from the Jim Dandy. We'll be back.
Claiborne Farms Flatter is carrying the flag for AP Indy, rewarding breeders in the sales ring and on the track. Among the nation's leading sires by Grade 1 stakes horses in 2016, this year's stars include Terrace, Upstart, Kobe's Back, Amy's Flatter, and most recently, Paola Queen, winner of the Grade 1 Test Stakes at Saratoga. Success on the track has led to big numbers in the auction ring as well, with yearlings this year selling up to $425,000. Flatter at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live and in the winner's circle for the Grade 1 Alabama. The filly who got intimidated against Abel Tasman of the Coaching Club American Oaks just missed against her, comes back and takes the Alabama Elate for Claiborne Farm, Bill Mott and Jose Ortiz.
Yeah, congratulations to everybody involved. You know, Gabby grabbed the trainer of Proctor's Ledge, Brendan Walsh, in the last race, and he said, you know what, all the trouble this horse got into, she's become better. I want to turn it down to Tom Amos if we ever get a chance. Elate's had so much trouble, a lot of adversity. I mean, does that ever happen to any of his horses in his barn when we get down to Tom? Because this horse is improved immensely.
All right, we'll ask Tom that in a moment. Meanwhile, let's get downstairs to Gabby.
Thanks, Greg. Standing by was winning trainer Bill Mott and Elate. Boy, was she good today. A little bit of retribution from the Coaching Club American Oaks last time out, Bill.
Well, sometimes it works out in your favor. Sometimes it works out in somebody else's favor. Today was her day, and really this is a race that we've been shooting for all year. I mean, this was a major target for this filly, and it's great when a plan works out. And, you know, we thought early in the year that she was probably more of an Alabama filly than an Oaks filly. We didn't think she was probably quite mature enough for the Oaks, and, you know, just the fact that she had a little more time over the summer to develop worked out well, and today was her day.
And talk about a little bit about her journey. Obviously, she's been going through some ups and downs, but she clearly showed talent from the get-go all the way to today.
Right. I mean, she won easily her first time, and then her next couple of races, it seemed like she just was, you know, never really progressed that much. She trained well, but, you know, we could tell that she was probably a little bit later developing filly and probably wasn't ready for the big girls just yet, and it wasn't probably until we got into July that it looked like she was really turning the corner. It looked like, you know, she was really ready to take on the best of them.
Moving forward, she's one that likely could get better and better. Congratulations here, Bill. What a phenomenal performance.
Well, it's a great win. It's a great win for Miss Dillschneider, one of the great ladies of the turf, and Claiborne Farm. I really want to thank them all.
All right, well, thank you, and congratulations. And, of course, the homebred Adele Dillschneider and Claiborne Farm Elate, phenomenal today in Alabama.
All these connections have been so important to the sport of horse racing. What a moment for them to be able to celebrate this. Again, our show presented by Claiborne Farm, and they have had a huge, huge day. Of course, they won with Chastise back in race 7. And what redemption after... You could have argued maybe would have won that race if not for those riding tactics. I think they'd rather take the Alabama than the Coaching Club American Oaks. So well done to come back and win.
I know the white-headed wizard, Bob Baffert, is waiting for a couple of his horses to run a little bit later, but I think he might be happy he didn't ship Abel Tasman, because I think Salty would have got the best of her today.
We have a story developing in the Naira Betts Late Pick 5. 240,000 plus in the pool. Huge numbers, including Chastise was the other Claiborne runner that paid $44. It started with Race Me Home paying $28. There are a few horses that are paying the entire pool. Now, if those tickets were made and played through Naira Betts, you're going to get more what the entire pool was. You'll get $300,000 minimum.
There's a couple carryovers here. The 2 and the 6 are carryover, and there's like 4 or 5 that are paying the whole pool. The worst you can do is about $25,000. Again, we keep trying to tell you these Naira Betts pick 5s are the way to go, but unbelievable value today. Good luck if you're alive.
We'll get you those payouts coming up in a little bit. You had asked Tom Amos a question about mentioning Proctor's Ledge and the toughness that she had showed, but Tom, Paul wanted to ask about Elate. She's been through some toughness too, especially in that Coaching Club American Oaks. Has that made her a better filly?
I think it's a combination of things. I mean, horses do mature. You know, as a young horse, 3-year-old coming into her own, and Bill touched on that when we talked about in June, about the time she started getting good. But certainly when you go through the battles, it helps. Look at the Kentucky Derby every year and how much experience can play into that. And having been through the wars and crowded races, Elate was just a horse that was not going to get beat by anybody in this field today. She was much the best, and she's got a big, bright future ahead of her.
Well, we can't wait to see her come back. This was a star-making performance. Chad Brown, of course, looking now towards next weekend. And the Travers, it's going to be a wide-open race. His Preakness winner, Cloud Computing, not what he wanted in the Jim Dandy, but Cloud Computing was back to work this morning. 5 furlongs in 101-3. Tom Amos, as we check in with you, he said after this work here, a decision coming Monday.
Yeah, look, the work looked very, very good to me. As you look at Cloud Computing come to the wire, what you may or may not see is how strong the gallop out is past the wire. I think that's going to be the selling point, and Cloud Computing is going to run the Travers. Hey, look, that's just someone outside the box making that decision, not the actual connections.
What do you think the odds are that I'm going to pick him?
That you'll get to pick him?
That I'll be picking him.
I think they're 1 to 9.
That's got to be
a lot shorter than his odds are going to be.
The shortest price of all, right?
Okay, Andy, what's his odds going to be on Travers Day?
You know, it's a good question, Paul. Probably, I'm going to guess in the 6 to 8 to 1 range. Does that seem about right, guys?
I think
Somewhere
you should get every bit of that, wouldn't you? I mean, who's the favorite? The favorite going to be about 9 to 2, you think?
Yeah, you got a big field, right?
Fair.
I mean, we're going to have a huge field here. There's so many horses coming from so many different parts of the country, have done so many different things. Nobody is going to be a big favorite in this spot.
Who do you think will be favorites? Is it going to be Good Samaritan? Is it going to be West Coast?
Not Good Samaritan.
No.
I don't see that.
Maybe not Good Samaritan because I think a lot of people won't believe in it. Maybe West Coast just because of Baffert, and yeah, maybe Tapper because of Pletcher. That's actually a good point. Are they going to bet Baffert or are they going to bet Pletcher? That's, you know, and he's right. You might get 8 to 1 on Cloud Computing. Cloud Computing might be a great bet.
Meanwhile, Chad Brown, here's his thoughts on the work from his Preakness winner this morning.
I thought he worked great. Javier was able to get on him this morning. He worked 5/8 super. Got over the track really, really well. I was happy with it. I don't think he really cared for that track in the Jim Dandy. He got quite tired. Since the race, he's worked really well twice now on the main track, and he seems to be getting over it a lot better. And, you know, he seems to be cooling out okay after the work, so far so good. I mean, we got some time between now and next week, and there's obviously weather to contend with and things like that. But I was really happy with what I saw today, and if the track stays the same way it's been here the last couple weeks, I'd be inclined to probably go ahead and run him.
So that decision coming on Monday, but it sounds like all positives for the Preakness winner. Meanwhile, Gervin, your Haskell winner. Tom, this work coming earlier this morning as well. Robbie Alvarado up 5 furlongs in 59-4.
And Gervin's, that's Robbie on the inside on Gervin, and that's Gervin's trainer on the outside, Joe Sharp, competing against him with a horse that actually has some talent. Gervin is going to draw away here. This is another good work. 5/8 in company a week before the big race, coming off a big race in the Haskell. This is a horse that is coming into his own right now.
And Tom, let me ask you a question. Why is it so difficult for go to the Haskell to here?
You're asking the guy that's never done that, never had the kind of horse to do that. So my answer would simply be that whenever you get a big race, whenever you have a big race, you're going to be in a position where you have to duplicate that. It's not easy to do.
You know, I just hope one day that Tom has a horse that wins the Haskell, and I can ask him when he comes to the Travers, any chance you can win both of them. I just hope that day that happens, Tom.
That day's coming.
Well, if there's a trainer who can do it, it's that man right there. Meanwhile, Joe Sharp, here's his thoughts on his Haskell winner this morning.
Yeah, we were really happy about the work today. You know, being on the inside, he was a little more keen, keeping his head in front, and broke off kind of sharp, but took a nice break through the turn and finished up, you know, quick, but within himself, and galloped out phenomenal. And Robbie was pleased, and I'm pleased. You know, the final squeeze before the 1.25 mile test, and you know, putting him inside, just, you know, it's definitely always going to be a little faster work. Our last work. You know, last week was just a maintenance half, first half back, and you know, today we wanted to get a little more air in him, and you know, and Robbie checked him to see that Gervin was still there, and he was, you know, very impressed, both before and after, and you know, that means a lot to us.
It is going to be a wide open field, 10 to 12 runners, maybe more, and it will be wide open. We still have the finale to come. There is Christophe Clement, maiden turf to finish things out. We'll explain this Naira Bets Late Pick 5 story. A lot of money on the line coming up.
And they're off. Naira Bets Pick 5 is now available exclusively online at NairaBets.com. Bet the Naira Bets Pick 5 every race day with a 15% takeout on the last 5 races on the card from the country's best racing at Belmont and Saratoga. Find it nationwide on NairaBets.com right in the Bet Type drop-down menu, or at any Naira track or New York OTB location. Naira Bets Pick 5, racing's best bet.
Back on Saratoga Live, it is brought to you in part by champion sprinter Run Happy. Won at 6 different racetracks, scoring on both all-weather and dirt surfaces. And he won right here at Saratoga, setting a stakes record in the King's Bishop.
Edgar Prado aboard? Yeah. I mean, I think that was truly his coming out party. Like, okay, he is the real deal now. And he went on to win the Breeders' Cup Sprint. We've already seen a couple progeny of Blame. And the way he frolics around, I think Run Happy might have a tiny bit more energy than Blame. It's close.
We'll see. His baby's coming along soon. You could play along from home as we show you all these races here on Saratoga Live by going to Naira Bets, getting signed up and started. If you bet 200, you will get 200 in your account just like that. Use the promo code PICK5 to take advantage. You can get signed up with Naira Bets all across the country. 10th race, mile on the inner turf. It is a maiden special weight. Let's go to the paddock and check in with Maggie.
Thanks, Greg. And we'll check in with number 8. No cats allowed here for trainer Tom Proctor, who's coming back off a layoff dating back to the kind of spring-winter time at Tampa Bay. Now, looking at him, or excuse me, her, she's fired up for this return. She's been on her toes. She's showing great energy to me. Sometimes horses, though, coming back off layoffs can be too fresh, but I don't think it's necessarily that's the case with No Cats Allowed. She looks strong in here. She looks ready to go off the bench. Moving on to number 9, that's a Change of Heart, who will stretch out and try the turf after a sloppy track effort that probably didn't go quite as planned, but I like the shift to the turf course here today. She just looks more like a turf horse in body and hoof, and I will say that she's so far is a bit more calm than what I had seen her in her debut. She's been accompanied by the pony throughout her time here. It was, though, when the jockey got aboard that she really got fired up and kind of lost a bit of a race in the paddock. So I'll keep an eye on her throughout her time pre-race before going in the stalls. Now, number 10 is Sweet Avery, a filly who certainly has a pedigree to relish this type of condition. Her Damn Ready's gal, she won the Lake George here. She won the Hillsborough, the Matchmaker, the Canadian. So maybe all along she's been crying out to run long on the turf here. She'll go from the 7 to this mile here, and looking at her, I think she's well primed and ready for it. She's always looked fit to me, and they always regarded this filly highly. She's taken money in most of her efforts, but I think this is the right kind of condition for Sweet Avery. Tom and Andy, what do you think about Sweet Avery?
Tom likes her a lot more than I do. We're interested in talking about horses like the 1 Assertive, who finished 3rd, the 4 Spiegel, or Spiegel, I think, who had some trouble with the start and got left, and then sort of rushed up into the race. I thought really made a big move just to get in contention, and she flattened out a bit late.
Look,
and the 10 Sweet Avery, you like?
This was a test drive on the 4-horse.
You're
Spiegel.
a man who's familiar with a test drive.
Yeah, I am.
You've given a few in your day.
And I'm telling you, look, having said that, look for big improvement from the 4 Spiegel today, or Spiegel. It's obviously Speightstown is the sire, so it's going to be pronounced Spiegel. But you're watching Sweet Avery as well, who's in this race. And here's a horse that I think is shouting for more distance, kind of hand-ridden the last 16th when she wasn't going to get there. Great price on the 10 that Maggie mentioned earlier in the show.
She is a good price if you like her, and I would never dissuade somebody from betting a big price. You know, it's interesting. Maggie brought something up, which I think was a very interesting point, but I wonder if it's kind of a knock on her. She took so much money in her first 2 races. She didn't show anything in the dirt. She ran okay. Feels like they just kind of loved her in her races, and she might just be a bit of a morning glory.
Well, you know, only her last race was her first turf start. So take away those first 2 starts. Maybe what they're seeing in the morning is a horse that's just looking for a different surface.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. She's a big price. You like her, I'm throwing her in. Horse are heading the track.
So our post-parade coming up here momentarily as we get a look there at Spy Gal, Angel Arroyo, Barclay Tag. Lots of room for improvement here off a better-than-looked debut, where she was only beat 3 1/4 lengths, going 7 furlongs on the turf for Barclay Tag, who's 17% with his maiden second-time starters. One of many runners in this field that can move up, including this one here. There's a look at the 8th, the Glen Hill Farm runner for Tom Proctor at 9-2 on the board. And there is Time to Flirt, guys. Brad Cox trainee, and a horse who, despite coming out of 7,500 maiden claiming races, those were good efforts.
I don't like her. I think she's too slow, and I think that this field's tougher.
Yeah, so 75,000 maiden claim is a much different animal than this maiden allowance race. And although she makes a move wide in her last start and was probably the best horse that day, they're stepping up to a different level of competition today.
Yeah, listen, once again, if she's a price in here and you like her, 5-1 seems to be underlay. I'm interested a little in the 3 who's taking an awful lot of money in this race. She showed a lot of speed last time. That was a relatively fast pace, I think, for the inner turf course. In her second start, sort of changed the tactics, gets a switch to the hot riding Jose Lezcano.
Yeah, 2 totally different styles for the 3 horse in that particular last 2 races.
Well, here is Assertive. And she could be showing some pace here as well for trainer Todd Pletcher. It's her second time on the turf. John Velasquez rides.
When Todd Pletcher wins with horses like he did earlier today, you start to think it's his meat. She's a very logical horse.
Aoife, the 2, gets the rail, gets Manny Franco for Tom Albertrani.
Yeah, she's yet to hit the board in 4 turf tries. I wish her luck here in her 5th attempt.
19-1. She's faced some good ones, though, like Caperget, who just came to win earlier in the week here. Misericordia, speed last time out, and she'll shorten up for Ellen Goldberg.
She's going to have to improve, but I think she may have some improvement in her. I think she's a dangerous horse, taking a lot of money.
Spy Gal is the 4 to Angel Arroyo, Barkley tag.
Yeah, broke poorly, and as I said, got the test drive in her debut. Look for big improvement here from this horse, the 4.
Brad Cox sends out this flatter filly, Time to Flirt, who's stepping up in class.
I think it's clear Tom and I have already gotten her into the winner's circle in this race. She is facing tougher today, though.
Star Maven, sent out by Leah Giramati at Treadway Racing Stable, has Rajiv Mirage aboard.
Yeah, unplaced in all 3 of her starts this year and will need to improve to be a factor.
Look who she faced. Proctor's Ledge, couple back. 7 horse is Remarked. Eric Cancel rides for Robert Robato.
Beside a minor stumble to start, thought she had a very good trip last time and just wasn't good enough.
No Cats Allowed, trained by Tom Proctor. Drayton Van Dyke aboard.
Just missing her last. She's going to need to have a clean trip because she's a horse that is ridden the entire race.
A Change of Heart is the 9 for Christophe Clements, the turf debut with Joel Rosario.
Sneaky price here for a good trainer, and she's half to 2 turf winners.
And Sweet Avery, Junior Alvarado aboard for Mark Hennig.
Look, this is one that should like the extra distance, and I think a must-use in your exotic betting at 12-1.
Well, we're going to send it downstairs to Gabby, who's standing by with the connections of Remarked, the 7, a daughter of Arch.
Thanks, Greg. Standing by with Mark Keller, who, of course, has had plenty of success here at Saratoga, winning the Grade 1 Sword Dancer about 10 years ago, I'd say, with Grand Couturier. But, Mark, talk a little bit about it. It's interesting, the relationship between you and Bob Robato. It dates pretty far back, pretty incredible what you guys have accomplished over the years.
Yeah, Bob and I have been together going on 35 years, and we've had, decent success. We've had maybe 4 Grade 1s and a few Grade 2s with a limited number of horses. So it's worked fairly well, although at the moment not quite as well as it did a few years ago.
Well, we're going to change your luck here with the 7 Remark. Tell us quickly a little bit about her. Stumbled out of the gate, tough trip last time.
Yeah, she's a nice filly. I think she'll continue to improve. She was a little short last time as well, so I think if she doesn't have trouble out of the gate, she'll be there.
All right, well, those are a couple remarks for Remark as we go back up to Greg.
Gabby, thanks. And it's Remarked her turf debut. It was her second start of her career. She faced Rubel Linda. That was the Franco first-time starter for Chad Brown, who just freaked in that debut performance. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back. A change of heart and a change of surface for Christophe Clements' Unbridled Song filly. We'll be back. Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish from a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before. Back on Saratoga Live, we're getting set for the nightcap coming up. We're approaching the 2-minute mark to post. A lot of intriguing runners here in this group. One of them is Misericordia. Showed speed last out. Speed has been so dangerous on this inner turf course, Andy.
Yeah, well, you know, I wonder a little bit because of the rain that we got on Thursday and Friday. And I think that's something that shouldn't be missed. The courses are not as firm as they were. And, you know, we won that mile race earlier, and the speed didn't hold up there. So I'd want to watch a little more. So I'm thinking it could have changed after a little rain, Tom.
Yeah, I don't like that anxiousness I'm seeing from the track. That's not a feel-good horse. That's an anxious horse we're looking at.
So not a great sign there. Yeah, you see the horse a little washed out right there with Misericordia, who's on the board at 6-1. With more in this group, let's go to Maggie.
And just to follow up on what Tom was saying, Misericordia came out to the track. She was nervous in the paddock. I had not seen her like that in her previous effort, and she has done nothing but just walk in a small circle with the outrider pony. So I do not like that. A good friend of mine, Richard Migliore, he was always very critical of warm-ups or non-warm-ups like Misericordia is getting. Now, one that did look great in the warm-up is number 1 in here. That is Assertive for trainer Todd Pletcher. Look, Todd will try to kind of get going here on the turf. This filly, though, obviously she's a shorter price than what we saw earlier, but Assertive to me is a filly that's been calling out for this mile distance. She's just built for it, and she looked great out here in the warm-ups here under Johnny V. Guys.
It's been an angle. Pletcher in the nightcap.
Yeah, it really has. He just keeps on squashing people's dreams in the late races here. And to get back to the 3, you know, this horse is bet heavily in the pick 5s and the pick 4s. The pick 5, there's multiple horses that are paying, 4 horses that are paying 1 payout. The 3 is $25,000, clearly the choice in the pick 5. So the word must be out. I'm not in love with this horse. None of us picked this horse. Not great signs on the racetrack, but I think a lot of people, or about 8 people, are hoping this horse goes gate to wire.
And let's talk about that real quick. So if you hit and you are the only winning ticket in the Naira Bets late pick 5 and you played it through Naira Bets, you'll get a total of $300,000. That is an extra $95,000 on the 4, 7, 9, and 10 horses.
How about this? I think they get it. The second lowest payoff is the 5, Time to Flirt. All of us don't like that horse. That's the 5 in here. I think it's going to pay upwards up to $68,000. If you get the 8, you get anybody else, the 1 or 8, you're getting a lot of money. If you're live, best of luck.
Certainly wish you the best. We hope it's a Naira Bets account holder. Good luck to everyone out there. If they did play it through Naira Bets, that is incredible. As we get a look at the field here, about to load up for the nightcap. 1 mile over this inner turf course. And the favorite, Todd Pletcher's Assertive. And look, there's upside with Assertive. Daughter of Blame here, making just her 2nd start over the turf.
Yeah, she's a horse that really had to be ridden hard to stay into the race last time. And I thought she ran a good race. She got beat by Jaunt, a runner for Christophe Clement into Summer. I agree with Maggie that she's going to love the distance. Is she good enough to beat this field remains to be seen.
Let's send it upstairs for the load here of this finale on Alabama Day to the voice of the Triple Crown, Larry Colmus. Take it away.
No cats allowed moving into the starting gate. Star Maven goes in, waiting for a Change of Heart and Sweet Avery. A Change of Heart goes into the starting gate. Sweet Avery will be the last one under Junior Alvarado. Assertive continues to be the 5-2 favorite. And they're all in line. They're off. Spy Gal a step slow out of there. Remarked goes out to the front, and there goes a Change of Heart. Sweet Avery is away running in 3rd as a Change of Heart grabs the lead. And then it's Time to Flirt, followed by Aoife to the inside, Assertive behind them, and then No Cats Allowed, followed by Star Maven and Spy Gal as they make their way into the turn. The trailer, last of them all here, is Misericordia, who is dropped off about 14 lengths from the pace. So they go on to the backstretch here, and it is a Change of Heart in front through a 24.31 quarter. Leads at a length and a half. Remarked tracks in 2nd position. Sweet Avery is 3rd on the outside. Aoife 4th along the rail, then Assertive. Followed on the outside by Time to Flirt. Star Maven behind them. No Cats Allowed, 7 lengths off the lead, just ahead of Spy Gal to the inside. Misericordia is still trailing the field. 48.56 was the half mile for a Change of Heart in Joel Rosario, who lead Remarked by a length and a half into the far turn. Aoife on the inside of Sweet Avery, who runs along in 4th. Then Assertive. On the far outside, Time to Flirt is making a bid now. 3 wide, but on the charge is it Time to Flirt. Then it's Star Maven, followed by Spy Gal, No Cats Allowed, and Misericordia, and they're coming to the top of the stretch. And Remarked goes up on the outside, and Remarked takes the lead from a Change of Heart. And now Aoife's found some running room and is coming up after the pacemakers with 1 furlong to run. Remarked in front. Aoife has moved up into second. On the inside, a Change of Heart. Then Sweet Avery, Time to Flirt on the outside, and from far behind, Spy Gal putting it a bid too. Remarked is going to get there. Remarked to win it from Spy Gal. And then it was Aoife and a Time to Flirt in 136.45.
It is Remarked with the win, which means 300,000 if they played it through Naira Bets.
204,000 if you did not play this pick 5 through Naira Bets. If you're a Naira Bets customer, you're just going to get an extra 95,000. As Remarked, always sat a good trip in here, Andy. And by the way, this horse got hit late.
Perfect stalking trip here. The magic of Gabby Gaudette interviewing owner Mark Keller before the race, getting it done here. A little bitter about my 4 Spy Gal, who did run a winning race to close for second, but second doesn't pay when you bet them to win.
Let's talk a little bit about Remark's trainer, Bobby Robato, who's been in the game for a long, long time and quietly makes a living and wins races and does an excellent job with a very small group of horses.
Totally agree. And Mark Keller's an owner that's been very loyal to Bobby, and it's always nice to see loyalty pay off. And they're a team that teamed up to win 2 Sword Dancers with a horse named Grand Couturier a few years ago. Good guys. Nice to see him in the winner's circle.
He'll bet a few bucks, too.
Yeah, you make a good, that's the other point. You make a good point, Tommy. They like to wager a little bit.
So Remarked, second start here at the meeting, gets into the winner's circle. And well done, Eric Cancel. Nice ride here. And final time, 136.2. for the mile, gets a nice trip, wins at 6-1, and at a minimum, again, whoever played this late pick 5, at least $204,000. That is amazing. 7-4-2-5 finish. Let's go downstairs to Maggie on horseback.
Here with winning rider Eric Cancel, and it took a while, guys, because Remarked, she galloped out almost to the other turn here, Eric. There's a lot left in the tank, I'd say.
I mean, the filly was really ready today. The trainer did an excellent job. The team, I don't know what to say. I mean, the filly just was really ready for the race today.
And you sat pretty close to the pace here, and she broke well today, and that certainly aided your chances.
Yeah, the plan was to try to stay as close as I could to the leaders, and it worked out really nice. She's a filly that she always breaks pretty sharp, and she tries to take you there. So didn't take nothing away from her, and just let her get comfortable. From the 3 heads down, I just asked her, and she responded really nice.
She did, not getting in her way. It paid off here. Remarked and Eric Cancel. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Greg.
Remarked with the win, 6-1 to close out the card. We're not done yet, though. We still have more coming up on Saratoga Live, so don't think about changing that channel. We'll be back with more right after this.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse Awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Summer of Dreams 4 is back at Foxwoods, and we've got guaranteed millions in cash and prizes up for grabs. Sign up free for Foxwoods Rewards and earn points playing our World Series of Poker and the Big Dream Slot Tournament with Mario Lopez. Also, try our new skill-based slots. Then, use your points for summer wonders like Lobster Madness, golf at the Lake of Isles, and shop the region's only indoor Tanger outlets. Foxwoods Resort Casino, the wonder of it all. Find your wonder now at foxwoods.com.
This 3-time graded stakes winning millionaire defeated 20 Grade 1 winners. In the Dixie Stakes, he defeated Canadian champion and horse of the year Up With the Birds and set a new course record at Saratoga. Runner-up in the Grade 1 Manhattan and Shadwell Turf Mile, Ironicus ran 7 triple-digit buyers, including this score in the Fort Marcy Stakes. Half to 4 graded stakes winners, Ironicus has the speed, class, and bloodlines to become the next great sire by Distorted Humor. Ironicus at Clayton Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live, and in the nightcap, Remarked, Bobby Robato, Eric Cancel, Mark Keller, your winning connection. Spy Gal running very good to get second. Yeah. And Aoife completing a trifecta. Send it downstairs to Gabby.
Thanks, Greg, and standing by with Rob Robato getting the victory here in the nightcap at Saratoga. And talk us a little bit down the stretch. Eric Cancel just put this filly in a perfect spot from the get-go.
So she was in a perfect spot, naturally. We tried to lay behind the speed. We didn't think the horse on the lead would wind up being the horse on the lead, so we didn't handicap that well. But he did do perfect. There was a time at the top of the lane. I wasn't sure if she was going to go ahead and spurt a little bit, but she certainly did, and she held sway through the lane, so it was very impressive.
And how much did her last race prepare her to perform the way she did today?
So unfortunately, after her start at Belmont when she was second, she got sick on us. So we had to give her some time. I was hoping for a short race to come back in. There wasn't, so we ran at a mile and a 16th, and she ran well, but it certainly set her up for this race.
All right, well, it definitely paid off today, and it's got to feel great to get a win for an owner like Mark Keller.
The best. That's all I can say.
All right, you're the best as well. Congratulations here in the nightcap. Remarked gets the victory.
Gabby, thanks. Well done by these connections. We have a carryover, by the way, in the pick 6, but here's a NyraBets late pick 5 follow along. Started with a big price. Chastised for Claiborne. Wins and pays $44. All along, with the exception, really, of Proctor's Ledge, we see prices. $204,000 payout. If that ticket was played through NyraBets, bump that up to $300,000. Incredible.
Well done.
Saratoga Showdown, again, we play each and every day, and you can play for free as well. Go to SaratogaShowdown.com or Nyra.com. Browns 60, getting 50,000 NyraBets points, the equivalent of $50 wagering in your account, and an entry into that prize package for the Belmont Stakes. Guys, tremendous day of racing, and just a sensational performance from Elate in the Alabama.
Yeah, the Alabama really lived up to the billing. Elate was terrific here. Thinking about Royal Delta when she won the Alabama, and really her coming out party. This is the coming out party for a horse that always looked like she had the talent, didn't put it together. She put it together at Saratoga.
Look, Eclipse Awards were won the last half of the year, and a horse like Arrogate did it the last half of the year. Elate is emerging as a star in this division.
She is, absolutely. Abel Tasman sits high up top of the division, no doubt about it. But Elate is an up-and-comer and a very nice filly.
I tell you what, Mr. Mott's got a good record, too, when it comes to Breeders' Cup Saturdays or Fridays, too. So Elate's going to be a player.
Yeah, and let's not forget, she was right there with Abel Tasman. And if not for some intimidation, she might have been the best in that Coaching Club American Oaks. Proctor's Ledge was best in the Grade 2 Lake Placid. Brendan Walsh earlier in this meet with that horse. First ever win at Saratoga in the Lake George. He follows it up with another in the Grade 2 Lake Placid. Impressive performance. And then Elate, yes, the coming out party indeed, and redemption from that Coaching Club American Oaks with an Alabama victory. We'll see you on Sunday, everybody.